when every bruise looks good on you. Tell me who knows you're on blue, when every bruise looks good on you. You found out that nobody is perfect, and you doubt that anything is worth it. Look around, the world is a circus, you're on blue. So provoking, I forgot to mention, are you joking? I need some attention, and nothing's working to change your direction. You're on blue. Who knows you're on blue, when every bruise looks good on you? Tell me who knows you're on blue, when every bruise looks good on you. Why won't you hold my hand? Are you gonna deny this? Do the best you can. I haven't got a plan, but I'm gonna survive this. That's just who I am. When you're on blue, you keep everything inside of you. You try to play it cool, sometimes you gotta break the rules. I don't know why you're confused. All you need is a little bit of attitude. Yeah. This is it, I'm tired of explaining. It's too late because everyone is waiting. That's great, so why are you complaining? You're on blue. If I'm unsure, will anybody notice? It's my fault because I love you on purpose. I'm insecure or just a little nervous. You're on blue. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, hey. Starting to enjoy the view, I'm all about the attitude. Who knows you're on blue, when every bruise looks good on you? Tell me who knows you're on blue, when every bruise looks good on you. Hey, I just wanna change the world. I just want the perfect girl. I don't wanna hang around, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. You, I will never be alone again. I'm immune to the things they said. My heart's unbreaking. You're radiant truth. I know that you will understand, because I finally found myself. My heart's unbreaking. You're radiant. Hey, I just wanna change the world, but I'm not gonna wait my turn. I don't ever want to come down, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. Yo! Radio, my world! Come on! No! Dude, how we doing? Super Bowl Sunday! Woo! I can't pretend. No. I hope this never ends. It's about you. I will never be alone again. I'm immune to the things they said. My heart's unbreaking. Your radiant truth. I know that you will understand, because I finally found myself. My heart's unbreaking. You're radiant. You're radiant. Let's go. Dude, what a day! Dude, the woke city won! Day and night, 6 hearts, so I'm okay. You're alright, goodbye then. Dude, I have some thoughts. I do. First, nothing is what I say. I feel far away. Look at this. Oh, dude. We hit 80,000 today. Yeah. After you, I'm afraid of feeling some too soon. Cling to what you'll give. Nothing is what I say. I feel far away. Nothing is what I think. I will drown in pink. Yeah. Ooh, oh. Dude, Trump had a meltdown. Ooh, oh. Ooh, oh. Ooh, oh. Woo! Dude, we're gonna cut it right there. All right, dude. So, yes, let's fucking. We have a lot to discuss today. Today was intriguing and interesting. Of course, the halftime show, 80,000 subs. I got my account locked on Twitter this morning. So I had to remain like Twitterless today, which was a little bit of a bummer. It was a big Twitter day, but it was all right. You know, I tweeted a few times on Blue Sky. Mostly I was chill. I had mostly a day off Twitter, but we do love to hit the 80K on YouTube. And it's mostly because this video fucking blew up, right? This bad boy, there's our confetti. Oh shit, bro. Dude, 60,000 views in like 4 hours. That's pretty big. That's pretty massive. Like I haven't had a video do that in a while. So that one was a banger.
there are quite a few MAGA people in the comments that like they definitely sent that video a little over to the MAGA side. So my Twitter is back, guys. Okay, my Twitter is back. Hold on. We're gonna look at the fucking the TPUSA thing. I got my Twitter back. I was only out for 12 hours. Okay, it started this morning. So, dude, we do have a lot to look at though with this. I mean, I guess first, what we can do is for a warm up, right? We can start with maybe we start with the yeah, no, I got a 12-hour timeout. And it was because of this. I'll show you the tweet they did. It was because of this tweet. Where is it? Let me find it. I mean, it was not even a huge deal. Okay? It was this tweet that they said was something about like hateful conduct, right? And it was me replying about that father, okay? It was the father in Seattle whose kid went and protested, okay? And I called him a controlling loser. I said, what a redneck Karen, feel bad for his kids, scared of their own shadows. These people should homeschool and stay on the fringes of society. Now, I think the problem is this account, this leftism for you account is the problem. Because that account, okay, is a rather large, like libs of TikTok type right-wing account. And I did get engaged in a back and forth with this account, like many tweets, okay? It was like, I don't know, we went back and forth, 5 or 6 tweets. The account was telling me like, you know, you calm down. Dude, Armando, let's go. Thank you for that membership. So the account was telling me to calm down. The account was telling me like this leftism account. And I kept going off on this account for like its propaganda because this account is a major spreader of disinformation. And so I was like being pretty aggressive. And obviously this account like, you know, reported me and, you know, Elon did a solid. And so they locked my account this morning. So, I mean, I didn't even know they were going to lock the account. I got the initial thing that said, you know, like, oh, you know, I had 2 options. I could appeal it or I could agree with it. And so I thought, all right, I'll just take the whatever. I'll delete the tweet and we'll move on. You know what I'm saying? And essentially what happened was I deleted the tweet and then they locked my account for 12 hours as well. See, I didn't know they were going to lock the account, but surely if I had, you know, appealed it, it would have taken longer. Who knows how long before they would have seen the appeal and then I would have locked, because I'm sure I would have lost the appeal. Right. I know. Now, what's crazy about this, though, is that I get worse said to me on a daily basis, guys. I get called like gnarly slurs, including the N-word and the F slur. I get people threatening to dox me, people threatening me with physical violence, and none of those people ever get banned. Like, ever. Okay, I have not gotten nobody has gotten like their account locked since Elon has taken over Twitter. And I've gotten like actual death threats. You know what I'm saying? Like people saying they're going to take a cinder block to my head and shit. And so this is pretty wild. Okay, because now what I don't know about this is, was it the right? Like, because obviously it's a threat or harassing on the basis of one of these protected categories. But like, I don't know if Elon is considering redneck a protected category, or Karen a protected category, or cucks a protected category, right? You know what I mean? Because, I mean, there's no protected category in here. Now, I did say, like, these people, which is like, I suppose he could decide, oh, that meant a category, right? Now, obviously, the way it was reported, I know had something to do with this, okay? I know that this is really about the Leftism For You account reporting my Twitter account and then Twitter taking action. But anyway, you know, what are you going to do? I got locked out during the Super Bowl, which was kind of a bummer. But it also, you know, I had a day away from Twitter, which wasn't the worst thing anyway. And I made some really good videos, right? Both of the videos I made today were 1 of 10s. And obviously the second one was like a big blow up. So we're going to be good. They would need more examples to report you on. I mean, dude, they really don't. You know, the way Twitter has been operating now, I mean, you would think, okay, but you know, you know, Twitter is they sort of make up the rules as they go along now, okay? Now, that being said, I did go over to Blue Sky, okay? I did go over to Blue Sky, and I posted a little bit on Blue Sky today, which, you know, I don't normally do, but I did a handful of posts on Blue Sky, which was nice. It was like switching it up, okay? And, dude, this is what I thought was funny, okay? Did you see this? Right? This was crazy. The fact that, obviously, TPUSA, they had their big halftime show. But like right off the bat, they said due to licensing restrictions, they couldn't stream it on Twitter, which was like, that had to be a blow, guys, because it was going to be, you know, it was going to get like jacked up if they went on Twitter. Twitter was going to make it seem like 100 million people watched this, okay? Because Twitter counts impressions as views, which means if Elon retweets you and people scroll through the feed and your thing passes by on the feed, that counts as a view on Twitter. Every time that thing gets seen, okay, it counts as a view. People don't have to click on the video. They just have to pass it in their feed. So this was weird. Like, what licensing restrictions? I mean, to me, this doesn't make sense because, you know, Twitter is like no licensing issues. Seriously, Twitter has like, you can pretty much get away with putting anything on there, and it only gets removed if somebody strikes it, specifically like the IOC was doing with the Olympic stuff when they didn't want people to see, you know, JD Vance getting booed. Right? The IOC was striking. So you have to do a specific strike. So I don't know who would have struck. I did not watch the TPUSA event. I don't think I'm going to watch it. I'll probably watch some clips. But yeah, I thought this was pretty weird. So they wanted to send people over to the YouTube. Now, my thing, guys, I think they wanted to send people to YouTube because it was monetized there. I think this was actually a financial decision because, and dude, it couldn't be an Apple Music or NFL, right? Because you're going to have more music issues on YouTube. You're going to have more issues on, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can play copywritten music on Twitter all day long, but you play it on YouTube, you get pinged instantaneously. I mean, the copyright protections on YouTube are way crazier. Okay, but I thought this was funny. I think it's about money. I think it was the fact that they weren't going to make any money, really, if they had this thing on Twitter. And so they wanted to force people to the YouTube. Now, that being said, okay, Here for you, baby. I'm fully woke today. Let's go, Amy. Let's go. That being said, let's take a look at this, okay? Because I don't think their thing was very, I don't think it was above board, guys, okay? Now, let me see here what we got. Didn't see. I meant there was another gift above. Oh, was there? Let's see. Oh, yeah. There we go. BJ, Casey Jordan, FM, Elon, and the Bruvs. Keep giving them hell. Keep getting locked out. It means you're doing the right thing. Let's go, BJ. Let's go. Oh, we got you, boss. Thank you. Dude, and Amy again. Thank you, boss. Appreciate you. Let's go. Let's go. Dude, thank you, guys. Appreciate that. And a membership. I did see the membership. Yeah, no, the membership I got. Right? That we got. That we got. Yes. No, Kid Rock was caught lip syncing. Dude, Doctor Who, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Dude, Kid Rock, I know he was caught lip singing. But first, guys, we got to look at something here, because what I noticed first was this, okay, was the 𝗙𝗪𝗃, okay? So 𝗙𝗪𝗃, watch this thing. Oh, shit, it didn't save it because I was locked out. So I think Kyle Kowinski retweeted this thing, okay? Right here, okay? 𝗙𝗪𝗃. Now, look at this, guys. This is very important, okay? Because 𝗙𝗪𝗃 went to the Turning Point USA halftime show, right? That had 5 million viewers, okay? 5 million viewers. Now, but there's no chat moving. Hold on. I want to see some here.
Live chat, it's not loading yet.
All right, so I'm going to turn off the sound, but you see 𝗙𝗪𝗃's chat moving? You see that? 𝗙𝗪𝗃 probably had 50,000 viewers. And look at the live chat going, right? Look at our live chat going with 600 viewers. That shit is moving. That shit is moving. Look at their live chat over here, dude. 5 million viewers, and he switches it from live chat to top chat. Dude, there's like a handful of hearts, but like not really a lot more than like what's going on at a peak time here. But nobody was chatting, and he was chatting, right? He's like, hello, dude. Nobody was chatting. Okay. So that is pretty wild. Okay. That is pretty wild. And he tests it, right? I mean, he tests it.
Hello?
Hello? Right?
Hello?
Dude, he tests it and there's nothing. Okay. So that was very suspect. 5 million viewers, but the chat wasn't moving. Okay. Now it's funny because this is from one of the gamer people. Okay. This gamer person, of course, has me blocked. Right. Right. This was somebody, one of the gamer voices. He blocked me, of course. Dude, I have the gamer people blocking me. Everybody's blocking me. But that was crazy. Dude, Hawks win and Raiders get the OC as head coach. Let's go. Elite, yes. Can I just say, guys, I'm gonna take a brief 1 minute sidebar here. So the Seahawks, crazy thing. Okay, like I said, it was the rematch of the Seahawks and the New England Patriots. This was a rematch of a game back in 2015, right? Or, yeah, I think it was 2015 that we watched when we were, the one with the big interception at the goal line, Malcolm Butler. Although this one, we wanted the Seahawks to win. And now this was pretty crazy for a number of reasons. Because one, Bryce had become a Seahawks fan this year, which was new. He had switched to Seattle teams this year, so we followed the Mariners. I'm not following the Seahawks football, but he did. That was his team. So his team went all the way and won the fucking Super Bowl, which was crazy. Okay, so kudos to that he got to follow a team all year that goes to the Super Bowl. I'm super happy he got to experience that. I did want the Seahawks to win, but it also had implications, guys, because the Patriots are owned by Donald Trump's buddy, okay, Robert Kraft, Mr. Jack Shack, and right, so Robert Kraft's team got their ass handed to him. Big loss for Trump. And Seattle, of course, is one of the wokest cities in all of America. So all in all, it was a big win. It was a huge, huge deal, okay? Huge deal. Huge, right? And I got to go back and grab Engrain. Engrain said, let's go Seahawks. Just feel super thankful to have my favorite team in our politically important city win it all. In a time like this, Parade Wednesday, everyone get up here. Yeah, that's huge. Dude, Engrain, thank you, boss. That is massive. Guys, can I just tell you, sometimes these political statements are like crazy. Where the team comes through, Seattle showed up. Not so happy ending today, indeed. Seattle showed up big and they slammed it home. And you ready for this, guys? What's more is the Seattle quarterback, Sam Darnold. You know who he played for last year? Sam Darnold last year played for the Vikings, for Minnesota. So he was playing in Minneapolis last year, and he ended up getting traded, right? He had a little bit of a crash out in the playoffs. But so he's a Minneapolis guy. I mean, he's originally from Southern California. He went to USC. He went and played in Minneapolis, had a really great year in Minneapolis last year, kind of fell apart in the playoffs, went to Seattle and went back, deep into the playoffs and, of course, to the Super Bowl, and they won it. So that was huge, right? Right? That was huge. Yeah, he was also on the Niners, right? He's played in all the woke cities, right? And the Jets. Yes, he was on the Jets. So he has played in like every woke city, dude. You know what I'm saying? Dude, every woke city, right? New York, Seattle, Minneapolis, and San Francisco, dude. He is like the woke city quarterback. Dude, woke is back, okay? Woke is here to stay, right? Now, obviously the other thing about the game was you could tell it was a little too big for Drake May. Okay, Drake May, he's a young quarterback. He's 23, and they were slamming him around. Although he was spunky, right? He did get a little flash there in the middle. But guys, I'm going to be real with you, okay? I'm going to be real with you guys. Is this. If we get real, New England shouldn't have been there. Okay, if Bo Nix didn't get hurt, New England would not have been there. Okay, the Broncos were going to be there. Bo Nix was having the year. The Broncos were the better team. The only reason they were there was because Bo Nix was out for the year during the championship game. He got that critical injury, and then New England was able to win. They wouldn't have been there, man. You know what I'm saying? They go into to play the Broncos with Bo Nix, and there's no way New England was getting out of Denver. Okay, so that was a little bit of a gimme, right? It really was. I feel like the Rams versus the Seahawks was the actual Super Bowl. Okay, after Bo got hurt. But now, as a Raider fan. Okay, did y'all see Maha use convicted rapist Mike Tyson to virtue signal about processed foods? This is what our money is used for. I did not see that, Game Shark, but we'll have to check that out. But I will say this, guys. Back to my original statement, end of my sidebar, is the Seahawks offensive coordinator is all likelihood going to be the Raiders coach, and we are going to have the number one quarterback, Fernando Mendoza. So the Raiders, we may start getting good again, okay? I've been a Raiders fan, since 1976, okay? So I've been a Raiders fan for, wow, 50 years, guys. Isn't that crazy? 50 years I've been a Raiders fan. And they've been the only team I've been a fan of, and really the only sport I followed. So I've seen several Super Bowls. I've seen a bunch of Raiders games, and I've been a season ticket holder for, more than a decade. So I've been a season ticket holder for a while. Oh, yeah, Jim Plunkett, dude. Jim Plunkett, Ken Stabler, all those guys, right? And right up through Rich Gannon and through that Tom Brady Tuck rule shit. I mean, that was kind of the last time we were good, was during the Gannon years. Am I an Oaktown boy? I'm not. I liked them living in Wisconsin. I originally picked them because I hated the Green Bay Packers, and everybody in Wisconsin was a Packer fan. And I noticed that everybody hated the Raiders. And so I liked the team that everybody hated. Like, I was like, any team that can make people that emotional is definitely like my team. But you know what happened though, guys? So here's what happened is I would see them on TV all the time. All their games were on TV. And then we moved from small town Wisconsin to Los Angeles. And then the Raiders moved from Oakland to Los Angeles. So I was able to see them. They like moved to me. And then I was able to see their games. And then they went back to Oakland. And then, and then of course they went to Vegas. But so that was pretty cool. Like, we moved to LA and then the Raiders moved to me. Dude, which is pretty cool. I mean, to have your favorite team move to your city is pretty wild, right? Isn't that funny? Oh shit. I thought that was pretty wild, dude. But yeah, man. So this though, right, was TPUSA was botting viewers during the live stream. Okay? TPUSA was botting the viewers during the live stream. Now, okay? Now, the thing about this, guys, is TPUSA was botting viewers during the live stream, but there were other things, okay? If we look at Milo, oh wait, all right, we're gonna save that. Hold on, we're gonna do this. Milo found something too. You ready? Okay, if you look at this, he was looking at something as well, right? Where he said right here, okay? Dude, where was it? Well, I'll find it right here. Okay, right here. One thing you can't fake on YouTube is comments. If you had 5 million live views, you would expect the view count to be something like 15 million as soon as it finishes. After processing, maybe 60 million. Okay, but look at what they had, dude. This was like, right? This was, right? It said it had 5,000 views, okay? And 667,000 likes. And fucking 175 comments, right? This was like right when this thing was fucking getting started. Isn't that weird? Like, something's going on with those numbers, right? 667,000 likes, 5,000 views, 175 comments. Also, very strange. Okay, now the other thing that I noticed was wild, guys, was this. Okay, if we go and look at it now, all right? If we go and look at it now, it's got like 18 million views, but now it's got 26,000 comments, which is like crazy. Like, the comments like started flooding in after people started saying, whoa, there's no comments. Now, that is and 700,000 likes. I mean, that's maybe a doable, somewhat normal range. Okay. If I go to my channel, let's see what we got. My biggest video here is 400,000 views, and this one had 2,000 comments. Okay. So check this out, guys. Okay, because this is sort of like a normal ratio here. All right, this one had 400,000 views. Okay, and it had roughly 3% of the view total as likes. And look at that though, 2,000 comments on 400,000 views. And theirs has 26,000, basically 10 times as many comments, but supposedly 18 million views. So they have like 10 times as many comments, but 40 times as many views, which is like, all right, that's either my shit is like way more commented or theirs is like way low commented. Okay. I mean, you would imagine their shit would be heavily commented from all their people like reveling in it. But, I don't know about that. 18 million views. I don't know. I mean, dude, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what it is. But all I can say is when you look at this thing, okay, if you look at this thing, there's like churches and church pews. This thing was just a glorified like Bible study. Okay, that's what it was. It was just a glorified Bible banging whatever, right? You know what I'm saying? But if you look at it, if you look at the actual musical performance, I mean, they had like government officials speaking at this thing. I don't know what this shit is with this, like, looks like piss poor acting in there. Some come to Jesus thing. Oh, some anti-abortion thing with some fake, whatever, like poorly filmed shit that doesn't look at all real, right? Bloody, I mean, this is what it was. It was all a like Jesus-y hate rally. But if you look at it, dude, the production of this shit was just piss poor. That's the first thing I noticed is there were like 200 people there in this whatever studio with these lights. I mean, whatever. All right. It's a little concert with 200 people, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Their little like, all American show. But guys, can I just tell you like this thing did not compare. Okay. I mean, I know what they're doing. They're like doing their little religious separatist thing. They're crying about how they're so oppressed. And so they have to have all their own shit because they're just, whatever. They're on their trip where they think they're better than everyone. And they think they're like, they got to prove to the world that they're better and bigger and more popular. And they're just not, right? Even if they say they had 5 million people watching, we know that that's a lie. XQC looked at the chat. There was no one in the chat. But even if they had 5 million, the Super Bowl had like 120 million. So they had nobody, okay? Nobody was watching their shit. Not even Donald Trump was watching their shit. We're going to get to his meltdown in a minute. Donald Trump and everyone at Mar-a-Lago was watching the Super Bowl Bad Bunny. But guys, can I just tell you that Bad Bunny thing was like the craziest like thing that I have ever seen, right? How inept do you have to be to have your little message cut off at the bottom there? What little message? I don't know what you're talking about. Was there something cut off here on the TPUSA thing? Right? Or on, yeah, no, I'm curious what message. On the halftime show where the phone number is, where the phone number is, where's their phone number? Oh, this one, right? This one right here, text your campus. Yeah. I don't know what message you're talking about getting cut off though. Like, right? You're talking about this message? I don't know. But I don't know, right? But let's talk about the Bad Bunny thing for a minute, okay? Because, guys, the thing about the Bad Bunny halftime show, okay? You know what I'm saying? The thing about the Bad Bunny halftime show was this, okay? The production of it was like insane, guys, okay? I mean, starting it off in the sugarcane fields was like so crazy. I mean, this was the thing that really got me, was how if you look at the Bad Bunny thing, okay? If you look at the Bad Bunny performance, I mean, it was like a production. It was a production of artisans from, you know, many, many different disciplines. There were set designers. There were people doing, you know, choreography for dancing. There were people that were, you know, planning the video of it with him falling through the roof of the building. There were people like sound people, and there were art direction and the way the thing was planned that told like a story. But guys, it didn't just tell a story. It told like a historical story of the Americas, okay? And of his native Puerto Rico, which is a territory of the U.S. that doesn't have, you know, any voting power. They don't have any voting power. They're like a territory of the U.S. that should be a state, you know what I'm saying? But they're not. But they started it off in the sugarcane fields, guys, which was insane, because if you go back there, guys, the Caribbean, that was how people were enslaved there, okay? They were enslaved in sugarcane fields, and they were enslaved in sugarcane fields in Florida right up until the 1940s. Like, the last slavery they found in America was still in the sugarcane fields, okay? Which is, you know, it had a long history of enslavement. And so them starting this show in the sugarcane fields and him like walking through that was like hugely historical, hugely significant. And you may have noticed, like, he walked through from like the sugarcane fields through like this whole journey, getting a Grammy, you know what I'm saying? And then ultimately walking with every flag of every country on the whole, like both of the American continents coming together and saying like, the thing that beats hate is love. And we're all, you know, together with that shit in the football. So it was like the journey of like us, the people, all of us here on these American continents, which is North and South America, that went through shit together. So his thing wasn't just, guys, yeah, I got goosebumps just thinking about that. Like Bad Bunny's show was not just a dude playing music. It was like thousands of people who put in work to tell a story with music and with the sets and with the arrangement and with the cameras, to tell a story of like the unity and the fight that like the people of the Americas, because guys, we're the United States of America, but we're part of a larger community that is the Americas, okay? That is North America and South America, that, you know, people that had native people on these lands that were, you know, conquests from Spain and from England and from France up in Canada. And like, that's what's so weird about our like immigration shit. And if you watched my video about Kid Rock, you may have seen how I talked a little bit about how, you know, there's borders everywhere. Like, I crossed a border to come from California to Oregon. You cross a border to go from LA to Disneyland, a county line border, right? And we, though, have a unity in the Americas, man. like North and South America, whether it's Canada that has the French and America with the British and South and Central America with Spain, right? Like we were, all of the native peoples of the Americas were conquered by these foreign powers, okay? And like we share a heritage with South America and with Central America and with, you know, the right. I mean, we do, man. Spanish was spoken in the United States of America, spoke Spanish before we spoke English. Okay. Spain was already here, man, in the 1500s. You know what I'm saying? People were speaking Spanish here before they were speaking, you know, English. And so it's pretty crazy. I mean, this show had so many elements to it of like culture. I don't know the Hispanic culture. I don't know if you saw the 𝗙ecie𝗶𝗹𝗶𝗀 thing, right? That I thought was really interesting. You know, this was pretty cool. Where he was in the house. Dude, this was just so good. The only thing more powerful than hate is love, and all the flags, man. And you know what is wild, guys, is I also don't know if you noticed that, yes, the whole thing was in Spanish until he said, God bless America, right? He said, you know, right? He used the song title, and to kick off, that was the first English phrase that he said was God bless America. And then he started pronouncing like the country names and shit. So this guy gave an ode to America and to the American continents, okay? And it was an ode of like togetherness and of like a shared history that, you know, the South American and Puerto Rico and the Caribbean, they have a shared history of enslavement and of, you know, suffering at the hands of conquistadors that did some crazy shit. Lady Gaga did speak in English, but dude, she is also a powerful performer. Her being there, that was like beautiful. But there was another thing, guys, where I thought was pretty cool. Let me see. Where is it? Oh, it must be in her personal, on her personal account, right? Is that it? No, where was it? It was the 𝗙ecie𝗶𝗹𝗶 thing, right? I don't know if you saw this, but I thought it was pretty cool. But it was when he was in the building, okay? When he was in the building, dude, this end part was so crazy, dude. You know? So crazy. It was like so amazing, dude. Like I don't know. What a show of fucking, you know, of unity, right? But he had a jersey, dude. The Bad Bunny. His name is 𝗙ecie𝗶𝗶. Gotcha. I didn't know 𝗙ecie𝗶𝗶 was his name as well. That's amazing, dude. I love it. I saw AOC, though. She commented on it, and I thought that was really amazing. I didn't know that was his last name, too. That is so cool. Like, it was in when he was in the house, he had the jersey on. You could see it, right? And the kid was an actor. I know the kid with the Grammy was reported as being Liam, the 5-year-old, but the kid was an actor, okay? The kid was an actor. You know, these things are, these productions, let me just tell you guys, and I know I thought it was the kid too. However, one thing that I had not really thought of is the fact that these are union productions, okay? And so everybody that was on that floor, everybody that was involved in this production was an agency person. They were in the union. Everybody had to be a union, right? They wouldn't have a non-union person in there. That would have been like super difficult to make that happen. right? Because this was a total union production. But this thing though, dude, was amazing. I did not know that was his last name. I love that. But dude, it was brilliant. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely brilliant. And you'll notice that like he and her, red, white, and blue, they made up a flag. You know what I'm saying? That I thought was really classy, that they together, they were like the flag. Also the Puerto Rican flag, you know what I mean? And the American flag, but definitely the Puerto Rican flag, right? As you see right there, it has that different shade of blue, that slightly different shade of blue. Dude, Lady Gaga is amazing. You know what I love about Lady Gaga is she represents, like, I don't know, dude, she represents a lot of, different aspects of the country, especially with their LGBTQ connection. Like one of my favorite things of Lady Gaga is this, the Gaga and Anderson Cooper, right? I don't know if you saw this thing, but like this part right here, I thought this is one of the quintessential Lady Gaga moments that I think is amazing. I love Lady Gaga. She has like always been one of my favorite musical artists just for her personality. And she's a really good actor too, right? In A Star Is Born, she was amazing. But watch this clip.
That rumor that you had a male appendage.
All right, you ready? This is like one of the most important things that Lady Gaga, I think, ever did. I don't know if you guys have seen this. Well, let's watch this.
That rumor that you had a male appendage, that you were a hermaphrodite, and you joked about it on the stage last night.
Maybe I do.
But it's interesting.
Would it be so terrible?
But it's interesting. A lot of artists would immediately put out some sort of a statement saying this is absolutely not true. You have fun with it.
Why the hell am I going to waste my time and give a press release about whether or not I have a penis? My fans don't care, and neither do I.
Right?
That rumor
you know what I'm saying? But like, she's like, who cares? Right? Like, would it be, if I did have a penis, would it be the worst thing in the world? Would it even matter? Would it have to change anything? Like, right? I mean, dude, when you think about it, she's just so genuinely a matter of fact. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, it's the discomfort is like, has been imposed. Okay. The reality. Okay. You know what I'm saying? The reality of this shit is anything we have about what genitalia you have. I mean, if you look at patriarchy, right? Patriarchy says if you have a penis, you are the superior gender. You're tougher, you're stronger, you're this, that, or the other. But all of that is literally fucking imposed. Okay? You know what I'm saying? When is this from? This is from a while ago. I don't know. I mean, you could Google Lady Gaga, Anderson Cooper. I feel like it was like 5 years ago or some shit like that. Right? That was from, when was it? Oh, it was a long time ago. It was 14 years ago. So it was 2012, dude. That was 2012. That was like early, right? Early. Isn't that crazy? In 2011, okay? 2011, 15 years ago, guys. So think about how far ahead of the curve she was already, like, addressing that shit. That was during Obama's first term, guys. That was before gay marriage was even legal, right? Isn't that insane? That is insane, right? That she was already like just so, and I mean, obviously people that are in the arts, especially you're in the dance world, you're in the film and music world, those worlds were a lot more privy and hip to the reality of, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you go back to Hollywood, okay, if you go back to Hollywood, even in the 1930s, okay, being gay was allowed. People weren't still out about it because they didn't want to like ruin their career out in the world. But like people in the industry knew, they knew like people were gay and they didn't, it was a safe spot. It was a safe zone. It had to be, it wasn't safe because you had to be careful if the wrong people found out about it. But the right people and the people who were okay with it were able to like know about it and be okay with it. It was definitely like safer than, you know, mainstream society. And it's always been like that in art and music. They've been safe zones, you know. But dude, yeah, they're always ahead on this curve. You know, I mean, the culture is driven by the artists. It really is, guys. Like the culture was driven by the artists. And that's what happened in the late 80s, early 90s. There was a lot of breakthroughs with gay rights because the artists drove. I mean, it started with people like Freddie Mercury and people like, you know, Rob Halford and people like Elton John, even when people didn't know they were straight or gay. Now, like for me, guys, the thing that really sort of like opened my mind about it was, you know, before I had my own whatever exploratory experience, with me, it was really about the band Queen, okay? And Queen was the band that, hold on one sec here. Okay, Queen was the band that like sort of explained it all to me, okay? And you know why? Let me tell you why. Because in the late 80s, early 90s, mostly the early 90s is when we started realizing that like being open about gay rights. We still didn't really have it in the 80s. Like I said, in high school, in my friend group, one of our friends was gay and he did not tell us until the 90s. Okay, he did not tell us all through high school. He kept that shit quiet. None of us knew, right? Dude, let's go. Dude, ML, let's go. OP, baby, let's go, dude. That's your 5th super. Let's go. We're giving you double up and fucking Trumpy for ML, the big ML. But so guys, here was the mind-blowing thing I had right around when I was 21 is bands were showing up on the scene like Kurt Cobain. A lot of Seattle people were talking about gay. I was a huge fan of Jane's Addiction, and those guys were bisexual. The whole scene they were involved in LA, the goth scene, there's a lot of bisexuality. This shit was opening up. Jane's Addiction really crossed those barriers. Those guys used to make out with each other on stage, even though they were all straight, but they had like, you know, bisexual, like exploratory openness. You know, I think maybe one or two of the members may have been bi, but they certainly were like about like celebrating our innate bisexuality that we all have, with simply that like two men can kiss and like straight men can kiss. Okay. Straight women can kiss. You don't, it's like the being gay is about that attraction and that like desire. It's not about the act itself. Okay. And what's more, even if you are gay or not gay or bisexual or whatever, or you're straight and two men are kissing, none of it matters. It's all like silly social programming. Now, the way this hit me with Queen was this, is because around that time when Jane's Addiction was breaking those barriers and bands from Seattle were sort of opening up about this and challenging gay and straight, you know, and the whole concept of this and about rights, I started thinking about the band Queen Because at this point, we knew Freddie Mercury was gay. We knew how he had passed. Okay. In the 80s, he was a little bit more quiet about it. I mean, you probably could have figured it out, but he didn't announce it. But you know what I remembered, guys, is right around the time that Jane's Addiction was like opening my mind in the early 90s, and these Seattle bands were coming in, and it was all sort of hitting the head where everybody was starting to like be a little more open and aware about the fact that gay people are no different than straight people. What I remembered, guys, was I remembered as a kid how obsessed the Wisconsin like redneck guys were with Queen. Okay, right? How I remember when I was in first grade, you would go out to like a county fair and every like bearded, burly, like small town, typical Republican, straight as hell, whatever, even the racist ass ones, the most homophobic guys out there were like practically in tears while they were connecting with Queen. They had Queen on their denim jackets. They were the most devoted, devout. They connected to Freddie's music so much. They were just like moved by this guy to their core. And so, guys, when you have a bunch of straight, redneck or like, backwoods, whatever we used to call it, like white trash is what we referred to it in the small town. My family had some white trash in it. Those guys, seeing those guys be emotionally connected to the struggles and the inner fucking feelings of a gay man makes you realize that, like, there's no difference, okay? There's no difference, right? You know what I mean? It was like, it just registered to me like, wow, of course there was no difference. Of course there was no, you know what I'm saying? Of course there was no, like it's just people are people, right? Humans are humans, and they have the same range of emotions, and they have the same range of shit. What did I miss, right? Did I miss? No, I didn't miss ML. I got ML. I got the big ML, Dono. Yeah, no, I didn't miss anything. I got that. Dude, we talked about ML. Let's go. So the like, that really put a lot together for me. Okay. You know what I'm saying? You were one of those straight guys that love Queen. We related to being human. Yeah. I mean, cause it's like the experience of being human is the experience of being human. Now there's different levels of oppression for sure. Right. I missed yours. Oh shit. Dude, let me see. Where was yours? All right. Dude, I don't know why, but my fucking viewer activity panel is not showing up. There it is. All right. So game share. Oh, yeah. No, I got it. I see yours now. Okay. You're right. Actually, I think I missed two of them. I think I missed one flew over as well. Okay. Hold on. Yeah, no, I missed two. Thank you. Let me get that corrected. Dude, my viewer activity window was like blank. All right. That's my bad. All right. So first off, we have one flu, all right, who said, giving the Grammy to the boy arrested by ICE got me, right? And dude, it got me too. And then we found out it was an actor, but whatever. That actor was chosen to appear like that guy. I think that was a very calculated decision to choose that actor. And then Game Shark said, I'm a Hispanic in Texas. When I was a kid, a white friend asked if my family came from Mexico. It never occurred to them that Mexicans were already here. Oh man, dude, that's just crazy. That's crazy how it is. Of course they didn't. And like, guys, can I just say, I want to pause here, okay? And I want to pause and I want to address one of the chief MAGA complaints, okay? And this ties into what Game was talking about how people just don't even think. But if you look at the Bad Bunny thing, if you look at the right-wing shit, okay, these right-wing people, when you look at Bad Bunny, the chief complaint from some of these right-wing people, okay, was about, let me find a right-winger here, okay? Dude, the irony of Jake Paul, right? The irony of Jake Paul dissing on the halftime show when Jake Paul moved to Puerto Rico for a tax dodge was like, bro, give me a fucking break, dude. Really? That's so ironic. But so if we look at it, let's look at like the chief complaint. Let's go to somebody like Matt Walsh, okay? And so you go to like Matt Walsh, and Matt Walsh here is going to complain about this shit, and look at what he's going to say. He's going to talk about the language, okay? Right? So, right, here we go. You ready? Look at this. He says, you know, there's, right? Let me find one where he talks about the language. Right here, okay? Having the halftime show of your biggest game of the year in a language almost none of your lifelong fans can understand while waving the flags of countries that none of them are from is the biggest FU that I've seen a corporation give to its consumers. But like, guys, I want to pause on this and I want to hit you with a couple things. Because number one, this is like the chief complaint. Oh, they're not speaking English. And now that halftime show was like 15 minutes or whatever. Now, let's just pause here, okay? Because number one, first off, there's a lot of Hispanic people in the NFL, okay? There are a lot of Hispanic people in the NFL. There's a ton in fucking baseball. There is a ton in, right? I mean, in American sports, especially baseball, which is like America's sport, is filled with fucking Hispanic people. Filled with it, okay? Baseball's like the most American sport, okay? Now, that's number one. Hispanic people are a huge part of American sports, and they always have been. Number two, okay, Puerto Ricans are Americans, okay? They're just because they speak Spanish, they're still American citizens. That's number two. Number three, guys, and this is a big one, right here. Almost none of your lifelong fans can understand. That's on us, guys. There is no reason, okay? There is no reason Americans shouldn't learn Spanish. That is the language of our neighbors, okay? Like part of our country was Mexico, okay? California, Arizona, New Mexico, the Gulf of Mexico, Texas. Dude, you go to Texas, man, there's a huge Mexican influence. We were Mexico. We took a bunch of land from Mexico. Everybody in California and Arizona and Texas spoke Spanish. Okay, there's no reason we don't speak our neighbors' languages. If you go to Europe, everybody in Europe speaks the languages of their neighbors. If you live in Italy, you speak German and you speak French, and they're also learning English, right? If you live in France, you're going to speak Dutch, you're going to speak Spanish, you're going to speak Italian, right? They learn the fucking language of their neighbors. Why? Because that's what neighbors do. Not because you're like, oh, they're forcing you to learn it. It's like, no, I want to get to know my neighbors. I want to be able to talk to my neighbors. I want my neighbors to be able to talk to me. And so there's no reason we shouldn't learn French and Spanish. Everybody in America should be learning French and Spanish. And I mean, if you're on the West Coast, you should probably be learning, you know, Chinese as well, or Japanese, right? Maybe both of those, right? Depending on where you live. You live in San Francisco, you live in Seattle, right? You might want to learn some of the Asian languages. If you live on the East Coast, you could certainly learn some of, you know, predominant European languages. Like there are, you know, I mean, you know, if you live in Louisiana, you will probably want to learn French. You know what I'm saying? But what's crazy is that, and what's more, you ready? What's more, guys, is Mandarin, not Chinese. All right. But you know what I mean. what's more, guys, is learning languages makes your fucking brain develop. So if we all learned, you know how they always complain that like people aren't smart enough in school, they're not doing well enough in school? Well, newsflash for you. If all of you MAGA idiots learned Spanish and learned French in school, you would be smarter. All of our kids in America would be smarter if they learned the language of their neighbors. And then they would have been able to understand the Super Bowl. And it wouldn't have been a big deal. The reason nobody could understand it is because of us. Because we have chosen to not be respectful of our neighbors, okay? It is literally, we've made a choice as a country to like not want to get to know our neighbors and not want to be able to communicate with them, not want to be able to be respectful and cordial with them, but they learn English. Like most every Hispanic person that comes to America learns fucking English. They often learn it before they get here, right? And so, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So this whole idea that like, language we can't understand, that's on us. There's no reason with the amount of Hispanic people, it's like 30% of the population. We should all be learning Spanish. We should. All of us should know Spanish. And what's more, guys, like, you know, it's like, they're all built on like the Germanic languages. You know what I'm saying? They're all fucking related. It's, you know, I mean, I took Spanish in fucking 8th grade, and then I took German in, you know, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, right? And so I took Spanish, I think, in 7th and 8th. And right? So, I mean, there's not a reason to not do it. And what's more, if you're a Christian, you should probably learn Aramaic or something, you know? I don't know. There's many things you could do. But now, guys, another thing, though, that I want to point out about this, right, is I have one word, okay? I have one word for all the MAGA shitheads that complain about this stuff. And you know what that word is, guys? Right? Opera. That's my word. Opera. Fuck you, MAGA. Okay? Fuck you. Opera. There you go. Opera. Okay? For decades, everybody has been going to the opera, especially if you're from a wealthy family, right? If you culture, you go to opera. It's 2.5 hours of fucking Italian. Okay? Literally, you don't understand a goddamn word of it. You know, maybe if you're a student of it, okay? But that shit is 100% Italian, and it's moving, and people respect the singers. People love it. It's an institution that is like firmly implanted in the highest culture, the most cultured areas of our country. And they don't cry about it. It's all in Italian. They're not putting it in English. Fuck the opera. The opera singer's dog shit. Oh, fuck Pavarotti. Get his ass out of here. No, they revere them. Okay, they revere them. Okay, and you know, and it's like, so screw you, Matt Walsh. I bet Matt Walsh has been to the opera. I bet this motherfucker has gone to the opera and sat there listening to it for fucking 2 hours, and depending on who he's with, he was probably like pretending like, oh, let me tell you about this opera. Let me tell you about La Boheme. And it's like, you know, or maybe he was like shitting on it the whole time and being a fucking dickhead. You know, you never know. He could have been that. But like, dude, people have been going to the opera and revering that shit for forever. You know, and spoiled and affluent is one part of it. But I mean, there are people that aren't wealthy that go to the opera because of the sheer beauty of it. And because, guys, like, you know, there is something to be said, okay? Like, when you go to an opera and you sit in a room and you are moved by the music and the emotion of a language you don't understand, there is something that fucking like lands on you that is like a greater connection to humanity, okay, that is powerful, okay, because you don't need to understand it with the music and with the acting and with the emotion of it. Like, you don't need to understand the words because it's about so much more than the words. And that is like what it's about. And music does that. Like, even with Bad Bunny, I don't know a goddamn thing Bad Bunny said, but I feel his music. I feel a deep connection to his music, and his music like moves me, and the rhythm, the way he sings, the way he uses his voice, the way he's like, I don't know, deftly like spitting the words out and his body movements. There is something about his vibe and you know, the way he like his intonation that just hits. And it hits because I let it hit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And I mean, dude, that's another thing is people will go to these churches and they'll speak in tongues. They'll watch Paula White be like, right? And you don't understand what the fuck she's saying. And nobody's saying, Paula White, speak English, right? Like, dude, opera, okay? Opera. Let's go. Dude, it's connecting. You know? It's connecting. Dude, that production though, man, dude, it did feel like a goddamn Broadway play, didn't it? Didn't it? Dude, it was like a Broadway musical. It was like a Broadway musical, guys. It was amazing. You know, that shit don't move you because it's fake. What? Gonna have to refresh. Yeah, we refresh, guys. We tapped out for a sec. We froze up. All right, yeah, we froze up for a minute. But so one of the things that I was gonna say, guys, Paula White speaking in tongues, dude. I have a thing, dude. I have a Paula White thing. I don't know what my Paula White thing is, dude. I am minorly obsessed with that woman, dude. Seriously, she is a crazy. Something about her energy, her tongue speaking energy, dude, is fucking, that woman gets me, dude. She is such a nut. But, oh man, dude, she is wild. But so what I was going to say is about the opera, to the person who said that shit is fake. The thing about opera is it's like Shakespeare. Okay. You have to be seeing it when it's good, okay? Right? You know what I'm saying? You have to be seeing it when it's good. And that's really, really important, okay? It is really, really important that if you go see an opera, like, you don't want to go see a community opera because it is going to be the worst experience ever. You need to go see an opera with really talented fucking performers. And the same with Shakespeare. Okay? Shakespeare, if you see it with really, really, I mean, Shakespeare's like a different language, right? You go see Shakespeare and it's like a different language. Something is wrong with the stream. I don't think it is. And it's like yeah, no, it's not wrong with the stream. I just took the volume off. Something's wrong with your stream, that maybe it muted or something, but like the audio is fine. Okay? My audio meters are fine. And I just checked the audio on my actual stream thing. So, yeah, you may need to refresh your shit again. But we're good. All right? Yeah, we're good. But so what I was going to say is like, way to shit on community productions. Hey, man, you know, it's truthful. I mean, I'm not going to say they don't have a right to do their shit. But like, you know, you're not going to have a good experience at opera or at Shakespeare with like, you know, like semi-professional actors. I mean, you can go and, you know, kudos to them for doing it, but it's not going to be any good because those things are like in a different language. You have to tell a story with people not being able to really understand what you're saying. And so it requires really adept and incredible actors to be able to pull it off. Okay. And yeah, I have no regrets in being honest about that. I think they would tell you the same if they're being honest, right? Any good actor that's in a community performance, they know. It's the difference between going to a community theater and seeing Hamlet and going to the, you know, Oregon Shakespeare Festival. You go to OSF and you see the real deal, right? It's important with those things. If you're communicating in basically another language, like you need a top level actor, right? That can sing and or speak another language and still communicate it so people who don't speak that language well can still feel it and understand it. So it's a very hard thing to do, right? Most community performers cannot. They cannot accomplish that. They're just struggling to get the lines out. And I say that as an actor, you know what I mean? Not mincing words, man. You know, dude, you got to be honest. A lot of musicals are like that too. You know, a lot of musicals can be poor in you know, bad in the hands. Used to do the Junior Theater Festival down in Atlanta. It was awesome. Let's go. I mean, that doesn't mean you shouldn't do them. You know, I'm not saying they're not worthy because they're worthy. You know, great actors need to have community theater, and there will often be, you know, great actors in some of them, but they're also going to have a whole bunch of actors that are not good. And so the whole production's going to be, you know, fucking generally sucky. There are also shitty professional productions. Oh, there are. Dude, we've seen some. We've seen some for sure. Paula Deen. Who's Paula Deen? Dude, 24,000. Why does that name sound... Oh, you were saying Paula White is fake. Oh, all right. I thought you were talking about opera. That's funny. I went off on fucking opera. Dude, Paula White is definitely fake, dude. Oh my God. She's so phony. Dude, you know what I mean? She is. Paula Deen is a cooking lady, an exiled chef. Yeah, I feel like I've heard the name, but I don't watch chef things for the most part. I don't find cooking. I mean, I liked The Bear. I liked the show The Bear. That was about chefery, right? But watch cooking shows like interest me 0%. You know, they do. 0%. I have the 0% interest in cooking shows. Dude, like less than zero. Like all of those Gordon Ramsay shows or whatever, Top Chef. Yeah, just 0% interest. Like, ew. No, thank you. Dude, watching people in a kitchen cook. Maybe because I worked in restaurants. The last fucking thing I want to do with my time is watch people cooking food, bro. Dude, I'd rather, like, you know, take a cheese grater to my fucking nutsack. Seriously. Dude. Right? Dude, Paula has the spirit of Jesus in her. No, dude. Dude, I think Paula White, I think if you look at Paula White, the spiritual advisor, I think she's kinky, dude. I do. I mean, she married that guy from Journey, and she had married a rock and roll musician before. I think she is a rocker. She's a rock and roll party chick. She is. She's like a groupie chick. Paula White is. And she is, you know, like whatever, practicing her realm in the church. But guys, let me just tell you, if you look at the history of Paula White, okay, she's like a money looter. Okay. She is, dude. She is a money looter. Okay, guys. She like had a church in Florida that collected like 150 million in 2 years. And then they like disbanded the church, and like 150 million just sort of nobody knows where it went. Right. So she used the church to get big money And then I think she just like likes to grind, if you know what I mean. Dude, she likes to find her a rock and roll dude and like, you know, party down. Right? But she likes those fat stacks. And they are, dude, the religious non-tax. Okay? Right? They, you know, I feel the Spirit of the Lord. I feel the Spirit of the Lord. I feel the Spirit of the Lord. Dude, we should be taxing the churches. But yeah, man. Dude, that halftime show was crazy. Now, there is Kid Rock here. I don't think I can play the music because I wonder if we'll get copy struck, but so I guess he was like lip syncing, and so that's what's so crazy about this though, dude. Like, he wasn't even singing, bro. You know what I'm saying? Did we start the dance party yet? We have not. Dude, thank you. I had forgotten about that. We should start the dance party. Dude, let's do it. Let's hit it. Dude, we're going to go. We're going to go for the big 3-0 again, dude. Let's go. 30 and 30, boss. That's the new fucking dance party. Let's get it. Let's get it. Oh, let's go, baby. Dude, so, you know, dude, their thing was lip sync. Like, what are they doing? Like, I know Bad Bunny was singing, but dude, TPUSA, they didn't even really sing, bro. They like lip synced. They lip sync, you know, only Kid Rock. Dude, that's weak though. He's the headliner. You have your headliner lip syncing. Dude, that's just lazy. Okay? That is just lazy, guys. That is just pure laziness. Boss, you always brighten my day. Thank you, Ella. You guys brighten my day too. Dude, that's just pure lazy. Okay? Absolutely pure lazy, dude. And he's like posturing out there. Dude, how old is he? Dude, Pinky, lip sync. He's 55, bro. Dude, this guy's like a fucking, he's my age, boss. And I mean, there's nothing wrong. Thank you, Pinky. Lip sync. Dude, there's nothing wrong. Dude, wild card. Kid Rock looks like he smells like cheese. Dude, I'll give you that. So there's nothing wrong with a 50-year-old out there rocking. I mean, I would do it. I'd get out there and throw down. But my thing is this. John Robinson, what he said, let's go. My thing is this, there are times, okay? There are times, guys, where you go out and you have to lip sync, okay? We've all been there. There are certain like cable shows. There are certain popular music shows where they don't have professional sound guys that can do a full band arrangement. They don't have a room that is set up for live sound. So you go on like Top of the Pops, or you go on some of these shows, you know, they used to have music on you know, certain primetime shows where you have to lip sync because it's just part of the show. But like, guys, right? Did you not see how ridiculous they all look? Oh, do they not see how ridiculous they all look? Yeah, I don't think they do, Paula. But like, guys, this is their show. You know what I mean? They created this show, right? You know what I'm saying? They created this show and they made this show. There's no reason they should be lip syncing. Like, come on, man. And especially when they're saying, like, you know, that Bad Bunny or the Super Bowl's a fraud. We're the real All-Americans. We're the genuine, real spirit of America. Oh, yeah, so the real spirit of America is you're not even singing? Like, come on, man. Suki says, you've helped me more than you know. Love you, Tommy. Let's go. Appreciate you, boss. Dude, yeah, this shit that's some bullshit. But if you look at it, they have a pretty mediocre stage thing. I mean, look at this, guys. Can we just look at some of this? All right, we're not going to listen to this because I don't want to get copy struck here, but I have it muted. but like, let's look at let's just take a thing through their show, right? And look at like everything about these guys are like kind of rednecks, right? Dude, right? I mean, come on, bro. All right. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Thank you, boss. We got the fucking, everybody's got the beards and dude, the whatever that fucking look is, like, that's pretty 90s leftover. Like, you know what I'm saying? Dude, just a whatever rock show. There's not even any people there, dude. You know what I'm saying? There's like 200 people in that audience, 100 people in that audience. Dude, going up against the Super Bowl. I don't know what their point is. I mean, their point is they think that this is more American than the Super Bowl, but I hate to break it to you guys. Like, what they did, what Bad Bunny did was more American. Bad Bunny told us a story about an American colony, an American territory. The American territory that Jake and Logan Paul moved to, okay, moved all their businesses to. And I mean, dude, this ain't American. This is like mega church preacher looking, okay, right? That Joel Webbon and fucking Dale Partridge all have beards like this guy. Come on. You know what I mean? Boring. Dude, they're not showing the fucking this guy, dude. They never put this guy on camera. They don't even like their own performers. You notice that we have yet to see the old guy with the long, like, dreads or whatever on camera. They've not shown him at all. They're showing everybody in the band. I know I'm jumping ahead. Oh, there he is. Finally. Dude, let's go. Dude, MAGA should plan to attend the 2026 Pine Box Bowl. Yes, Scripture. We are now taking entries for the Pine Box Bowl. Isn't that funny? Oh, shit, dude. This guy finally got his on-camera moment. Do we know who these guys are? Can I just show you? Jenny shared something with me that was pretty funny. Oh, there's some smoke. Yeah. Oh, look at that one, dude. Dude, there you go. Who is this? I don't know who these people are. Nobody knew who these people are. Okay? Nobody knew. And so let me show you the thing. Jenny sent me this thing that's pretty funny that I got to share with you. You're going to get a kick out of this. But this is amazing, dude. All right, you ready? Watch this. Here we go. Dude, MLV, let's go! Thank you, MLV, #1 fan. We appreciate you. Let's go, MLV. Dude, stop stupidity. Let's go. Dude, we love it, MLV. All right, you ready? Watch this. This is amazing. Hold on. Let me fucking cover up Kid Rock's age here. All right, you ready? Here goes. Watch this, dude. Oh, wait. Okay, here it is. Are you ready? Watch.
Is promoting during the halftime show, then tune in to Turning Point USA's All-American Halftime Show. Their lineup just dropped, friends, and it's fire. Now, this Sunday, Patriots like Kid Rock, Brantley Gilbert, Lee Bryce, and Gabby Barrett are performing right when halftime starts for the NFL.
Woo! Huh? Man, that is a real who's who of who? We've got Gabby Barrett, Brantley Gilbert, Garby Billett, Billy Garbett, Breely Grabbers, Bobby Glaber, Gaggy Bobbles, Barnacle Gasperty, Babette Gingletree, Hologram Hulk Hogan, Gregory Bankelbob, Kid Rock, and Kid Rock's father, Adult Rock.
Dude, right? I mean, ain't that the truth? Dude, let's go. Dude, yes, we made 80K. And Miv says, John Cougar Mellencamp, I Need a Lover, American Bandstand, funniest lip sync of all time. Let's go. Dude, Mivs, yeah, somebody mentioned Nirvana too, on Top of the Pops. Dude, the big Mivs, let's go. Thank you, Mivs. On Top of the Pops, Nirvana did that one where they just refused to touch their instruments and shit. Yeah, same shit. Dude, people that and their Peel. Oh, yeah, the Peel. There was a Peel show too, wasn't there? John Peel or something had a show. But yeah, that's what I thought, guys, with this. When I first saw the TPUSA thing, that was the first thing that I thought of, guys, immediately when I was like, let me see if I can find it. I guess I don't have it on the computer or... Yeah, I mean, if you look at the All-American show, dude, Suki, let's go. Thank you, Suki. Dude, Stop Stupidity, let's go. Let's go, baby, let's go. So, one of the things that I saw, the first thing I thought of when I looked at it was, when we looked at this thing, was like, who are these people, dude? Right? I'd never heard of Brantley Gilbert. I never heard of Lee Bryce. I never heard of Gabby Barrett. I'd never heard of any of them. And like I said, I am one of the most chronically online human beings you can imagine. Dude, Bass Notes with 5 gifted memberships. Oh, let's go, dude. Dude, yeah, I had no idea who these people are. Okay? They're no idea who they are. I mean, they're obviously some sort of like faux country, you know, like church approved whatevers. Oh, yeah, have no idea who these people are, right? Big dubs with the gifted memberships. Huge dubs. Yeah, isn't that crazy? And yes, guys, we went over 80,000, okay? We went over 80,000, and not only that, but we have confetti. Today's little video about the Super Bowl is blowing up. Almost 70,000 views in 6 hours, which is crazy. That's going to be a big video. That one's kind of blowing up a little bit. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Right? Why are they obsessed with Kid Rock? So, I mean, guys, they are like, I think the obsession with Kid Rock is obviously because, one, he's like a MAGA person, but two, Kid Rock is, whether you love him or hate him, okay? Hold on, we're going to go back here and make sure I'm not missing anybody. Dude, the worst Emily, let's go. Thank you, Emily. Appreciate you, boss. Dude, thanks, Tommy, for all you do. Yes, Lucy Lou's mom, we appreciate you. Dude, Lucy Lou's mom. What's that, like, do I know you IRL? Lucy Lou's mom? I swear that, like, your YouTube name sounds familiar. Like, as though we, like, know each other from back in the day. But anyway, what I was going to say, maybe not. Maybe you're just, like, reminding me of something from somebody that I knew when my kid was younger and in school. But, so the thing about Kid Rock, okay, let me just tell you, is there's a couple of things going on with the Kid Rock. Obviously, he is sort of anchored in by Donald Trump, but you're actually Lisa, but Lucy was your pup. Oh, well, it's crazy though, because my kid had a friend named Lucy, and so I thought maybe you were her, right? That's amazing. Thank you, Lisa. We appreciate you. Lucy was your pup. Love it. Love a pup named Lucy. But so the thing about Kid Rock, okay, is let me just tell you that Kid Rock is his proximity to Trump and whatever, but the thing about Kid Rock is he is the closest thing to cool that they have. That's really what it is, guys. Because if you roll back to the 90s, there was a time when Kid Rock was actually cool, okay? He sort of rode on the coattails of like Eminem. He did, right? He was not exactly from Detroit, but kind of from Detroit. He was more from the suburbs, but he did do the sort of trailer park chic. He had this act, right? And he had this attitude. And in the 90s, there was a period of time where he was fucking cool. Whether you love him or hate him, there was he was still a douchebag, but he was like, there was a part of his personality that was like cool and respected in music. He was, okay? He was fucking good at it. He blew up. He wore the fur coats, and he kind of adopted an attitude that was like the exact opposite of who he is now. You know what I mean? I mean, he fucking, there was a moment where there was a time period where I liked him, okay? And a lot of the rockers in LA in the 90s, there were a moment where we liked him, but he like came and went, okay? And Eminem, okay? Eminem, the thing about it is, you know what it was though, guys? What it was? Here's the thing it was. Is like, yeah, he was grimy. He was a little more like, I think the reason why he fell off, okay, compared to like Eminem, because Eminem was a douchebag too, okay? I mean, guys, if you go back to when Eminem was younger, he was a fucking douchebag. Let's not have any like mysteries of thinking Eminem was a nice guy. He was a drunken, abusive dude who used to like pistol whip people in the clubs. He was not a fucking, like, had some real fucking anger issues, okay? I mean, a lot of these guys did, okay? You can't, I mean, even my favorite rock stars were degenerates, but you ready though? Here's the thing, is Eminem like grew, okay? Eminem evolved, and Eminem like put like soul into his music, like looking for something better, okay? And that was the thing that like I think all of the good developed artists do is they grow, they evolve, and they look to like go beyond their fucking, you know, dude, thank you, John Robinson, let's go, right? And Eminem did that really good. Like Eminem was way more talented than Kid Rock for starters. And Eminem's music had a lot more soul to it, okay? And Eminem evolved. Now, what I wanted to say about Kid Rock is Kid Rock was cool for a minute, but Kid Rock went the other route, guys, where Kid Rock went like the trashy juggalo route is what he did, okay? Kid Rock went and sort of embraced not evolving. And I'm going to become more of a degenerate, and my albums are going to get more cheesy and feel more like widgets and feel more like I'm feeding you the same fucking like canned bullshit over and over, okay? And that's the difference. That's where they parted. Like Kid Rock kind of rode in on Eminem's coattails, but Eminem was like an artist and Kid Rock was like a player, okay? He was a dude who just wanted to make some widgets that could get him rich and get him some chicks. And like, but there was not soul in his music. He was more like a juggalo dude that wanted to just go and get laid and get effed up. And because he already had money, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he was like from a wealthy ass family. He didn't worry about like whatever, you know, he didn't have the same struggles. He was not an artist. Okay. And like Eminem's a fucking artist. But the thing about this though is to go back to the original thing is Kid Rock is the closest thing that they have to an artist. Okay. That's it. That's the closest they had because he was actually cool for a brief window in the 90s. He was cool. I mean, it was, you know, it was the fur coats and the fucking, I don't know, he had some attitude there for a while, but then he just completely devolved, okay? He completely devolved. Did I miss some? Stop stupidity. Let's go. All right, let's go. Dude, we got Quarg, the sore winners, losers, halftime show. Yes, he always sore. Dude, Suki with the gifted membership. Let's go. All right, thank you guys. Thank you for the heads up. Sorry I missed some. And we got one here. Rob Champagne says, I was wondering why they didn't have their new fake favorite, Nicki Minaj, but I guess it wouldn't be all American. Ooh, dude, isn't that crazy? That, like, yeah, how about that, guys? They like, I saw some people saying, ooh, they should get Nicki Minaj, but they wouldn't be all American, right? Oh, man, stop stupidity. Let's go. So they, like, you know, oh, shit, bro, that's crazy. That's true, though. It wouldn't have been all American. Kid Rock was never cool. Yeah, I mean, as much as you hate to admit it, like, Kid Rock had a moment where he was cool. When did I want to see when that song came out. That came out in 98, okay? Devil Without a Cause was the album, okay? And that, like, that was literally, that, he had a moment there, guys. I feel like it was like a year, okay? I feel like it was a year when he had a moment, you know? And when did 8 Mile come out? 8 Mile came out in 2002, all right? All right, dude. But yeah, dude, he had a moment, dude. I'll give him that. But again, I think that's it. I think that is the closest that they have to cool, right? North, South, Central Americans, we are all Americans. Yes, the Americas, big continent, dude. Let's go with the Antifa frog. To Cuermos, Tommy. Take Cuermos, Tommy. We love you, Tommy. Thank you, Laurel. Take Cuermos to you too. All right, I love it, dude. But he, you know, and you know what else? He said a few years back he wasn't attracted to Beyonce or black women, but he has an adult biracial son. Dude, what a weirdo. DJ, what a weirdo. But so I think the thing is, right, is like the you're right. He was in the new metal scene. Like, I feel like Kid Rock traveled in between. He traveled in between, like, the Korn and the, you know, I feel like the people that were into Korn, people that were into some of the Tool fans, Prodigy fans, people that were a little bit into Linkin Park and right, Limp Bizkit. He fit into that scene of people, okay? That scene of people were people, I'm telling you, it was the Juggalos, guys. They were all, those guys, Rob Zombie too, they were, right, White Zombie, they were all fucking Juggalo adjacent. I'm telling you, they were Juggalo adjacent, all of them, all of those guys, okay? They were all Juggalo adjacent. They came from the Juggalo sort of mentality, which is that small town white trash insanity element is what it is. Okay. It's like a white trash, small town insanity. Like the guys that get so drunk and then they go fucking put their head through a fucking window and shit because they're just stupid. Okay. And they're extraordinarily, like, they were all kind of racist, and they were all kind of like deeply misogynist. Okay. The irony is a lot of them were like homophobic and yet like bisexual. Okay. They had that thing going on. Right. But it was like Bakersfield, California, you know, dude, and Midwestern, to me, it was like Juggalo adjacent. And you know, they were like new metal guys who also listened to country music, but they didn't listen to like Loretta Lynn and Tanya Tucker country. They listened to that 80s country shit, like Billy Ray Cyrus and all that, because they were more about wanting like hit records than they were about necessarily being an artist. And some of those bands evolved, right? Korn evolved, right? Definitely. I think like, you know, Limp Bizkit sort of evolved, right? Somebody said Crazy Town. Those Crazy Town guys were kind of like that too. They were all part of that new metal scene. Stop stupidity. Let's go. Dude. All right, guys. Dude, we got 5 minutes and 7 and 5. We're going to hit this up. All right, we're going to devote here for a minute. Dude, you like Linkin Park? Dude, Jenny loved Linkin Park and a lot. And dude, she loves Korn too. Dude, I've seen Korn a bunch of times and I didn't like Korn when I was younger. Okay? Dude, I didn't like Korn when I was younger. And you know, you're getting to 30 faster than you got to 20. Let's go, Freddie. But I've seen Korn a bunch of times and I've grown to appreciate them. And somebody said here, so the Juggalos hate Kid Rock. That doesn't surprise me. That ICP always hated Kid Rock. That makes sense. You know, because I think they probably hate Kid Rock for the same reason that Nick Fuentes hated Charlie Kirk. Okay? Right? LFG, let's go. Let's go, Ella. And Stop Stupidity, let's go. And you know why? You know why Nick Fuentes hated Charlie Kirk? Right? Nick Fuentes hated Charlie Kirk because Charlie Kirk like mainstreamed what Nick Fuentes did. And like he did Nick Fuentes better than Nick Fuentes. He did it more in the mainstream. And I think like Kid Rock had that ICP Juggalo vibe, but he mainstreamed it instead of it being like, you know, this just a clown show. Borrow Bad, let's go. Although I knew some Juggalo adjacent girls. I did. They were pretty interesting. Dude, I don't know, man. I found some of the Juggalo girls were pretty fun, dude. Stop Stupidity, let's go. They were. Dude, they were spirited, right? Dude, it is a clown show. Dude, Juggalos are freaking weirdos. They are, right? Oh, man, let's go. Drea! All right, 3 minutes. We're almost there, dude. We're one away. Easy, we got this. Dude, we do 30 better than we do 20. It's crazy. Dude, he has not passed. His birthstone is cracked. But guys, Kid Rock to me was like a couple of hit wonders, right? He had a couple of like he sort of rode in, right? He rode in on Eminem's coattail, but then Eminem evolved. Eminem made a movie. Eminem like got sober. Eminem like evolved. Eminem became an activist. Dude, Stop Stupidity. Let's go. He like tried challenging himself musically. I mean, he grew as an artist, and you know, like Kid Rock did not. Kid Rock devolved. I feel like, dude, Kid Rock devolved. Snow Puppy sing "We Are the Champions." Let's go, dude. Eminem's an artist. Okay, dude, let's go, dude. Sam, let's go. So Eminem's first record, Infinite, was 96. Okay, if you want to look at Eminem, okay, let's look at this real quick. So Eminem's first record came out in 96, Infinite. All right, it didn't do well. Then Slim Shady came out in 99. Okay, so Slim Shady's album came out a year after Kid Rock's. But the thing about this, though, right, was Kid Rock's album came out first, but like everybody in the scene knew Eminem. like Eminem was like the real guy, and his album came out, you know, a year later. I don't know when it was recorded, but right. But Eminem was known like much more in Detroit than like fucking Kid Rock was. You know what I'm saying? Like, for sure, dude. Eminem, which is part of the reason why I think this one blew up the way it did, okay, was Eminem was like, he had a stronger history. You know what I mean? I mean, if we look at fucking Devil Without a Cause, 98, okay? It was recorded in 97, 98, and it was his second album. He had a first album in 96 too, so his album came out first. But like, dude, his album was, you know, I don't know that it hit like Eminem's did, right? It's like he went on a tour in the spring of 99. He joined Limp Bizkit and Stained, okay? Right? And so that was it, right? It eventually sold 14 million copies, okay? But so, yeah. So it went platinum, right? And it sold 8 million copies as of 2007. But I think Eminem's blew up faster, right? Let's see, like, what Eminem's did. I think his blew up quicker, right? So it debuted at number 2 on the Billboard charts in the first week of release, right? So there you go. Did you see that? It looked like what happened with Kid Rock is Kid Rock's came out, and then nobody still really knew him. Then he went on tour with Limp Bizkit. He went on tour with the nu metal guys in Stained, and then his album like took off later on. But like, I think it took off because of the explosion of Eminem's, right? Even though his album came out first, I think he was touring with those nu metal guys, and Eminem blew the fuck up. And then Kid Rock was like the other guy from Detroit, right? The other white guy from Detroit. And but Eminem was like, if you went to Detroit, guys, in 1997, okay? If you went to Detroit in 1997, only one of those two guys was somebody that everybody in Detroit like respected and thought was the dude, okay? And it wasn't fucking Bob Ritchie, okay? Don't forget about Dre. No, but the thing about that though is the reason why he was connected with them was because of his like street cred and because of his, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, I firmly believe that, guys, that it's like when you have a certain type of street clout, okay? When you have a certain type of like where you've been in the trenches and you've worked your way up like locally and you are respected in your local area as somebody who has been doing it and like the real deal, like those are the people that pop. And then what happens is after those people pop, anybody who can sort of like play the act can also pop too. Like coming in after is a lot easier, but it feels like the real deals are the ones that like break through. I mean, it was the same with Seattle. You know what I'm saying? Like Nirvana fucking popped, okay? And Pearl Jam popped. And a lot of other bands in Seattle like got careers based on those two guys. But like, dude, Nirvana really set off that explosion in a crazy way. And kind of like, the thing that I wonder is if Nirvana had not blown up, I wonder what would have happened with Pearl Jam, right? Like would Pearl Jam, even though Pearl Jam was kind of like before Nirvana, I still feel like Pearl Jam grew, like they exploded too, but they didn't have that stratospheric thing. Like they blew up and they were really popular, but I don't know if they would have had the longevity, you know? There was like, dude, Pearl Jam was so good, right? But they had a lot of longevity, dude, and you can't stand them. Oh, dude, I loved them, right? I loved them, boss. Pearl Jam, they're the real deal. But I think, though, part of the reason why I love them is because of Mother Love Bone, okay? Like, those guys, you know, Ament and stuff, some of those guys were in Stone Gossard, and Jeff Ament were in Mother Love Bone, okay? And with Andrew Wood, who was like, they were going to be big, dude. They were going to be bigger than, like, they were, like, Mother Love Bone was going to be like Guns N' Roses X2. You know what I'm saying? They were going to be like Guns N' Roses meets the Black Crowes meets Pearl Jam. Mother Love Bone would have been like, I think they would have been something spectacular that would have united a lot of different scenes. Okay. And then he died. Andrew Wood died. He was Chris Cornell's fucking, you know, roommate. And he died. And then Pearl Jam spun off from them. But like, man, I think I love Pearl Jam because like they finished what Mother Love Bone started. And with, you know, with Eddie Vedder, it was like a really good combo that they didn't try to replace. You know what I'm saying? They didn't try to replace Andrew Wood. They found somebody else who had his own thing. And that was like, I think that was really important, you know? Dude, because Eddie Vedder is very different than you know, Andrew Wood. Andrew Wood was like a rock star, a glamour boy, a New York Dolls fan, like leather pants and lipstick and teased hair and makeup kind of guy. And Eddie was like a hippie surfer, sort of, you know, crusty dude, and very different voices. Like Eddie was way more Fugazi and like dirty punk rock, and Andrew Wood was way more like a pop singer, dancing sort of deal, right? But man, dude, oh fuck, I liked all those shit though. All right, but we gotta move on. All right, we're moving on. I could sit here forever, dude. You get me talking about music, bro, and I can go. I can, you know how I get, dude. Dude, I may have to do music streams at some point where like start a channel where we just talk about music, like the history of music. Dude, but I think this is important. Scott Weiland from SDP was a great rock star. Yeah, see, I didn't like Scott Weiland. I didn't like Stone Temple Pilots. Yo mama, and the reason why like a lot of us didn't like Stone Temple Pilots was because they were glommers, okay? And dude, he was very talented, Scott Weiland was, but a lot of us in the 90s in the LA scene, we didn't respect Stone Temple Pilots because they came in late to the game and we felt like they were like fucking wannabes. You know what I'm saying? We did. We felt like they were like weasels who were coming in and nickelbacking like grunge rock. You know, that's how a lot of us in the LA scene felt. We felt like they were nickelbacking grunge rock. And it took me a while to like allow myself to like them because we just didn't like their like instant commercial success. You know what I'm saying? Dude, they were talented, but I'm just saying the musicians in the 90s in LA, like a lot of them didn't like Stone Temple Pilots, okay? They didn't like them. They felt like they were like these guys that came in late to the game and were all commercial and shit, right? Just a lot of the people that had been in the scene since the early 90s just weren't gonna like give STP the time of day. It was the same. There were other bands that were like that, right? Like Sugar Ray was another band that was like that was very different, but people were like, fuck Sugar Ray. Dude, Sugar Ray is like doing what a whole bunch of other bands have been doing for a long time, but they're like, you know, they were like taking all the bandwidth, right? And Stone Temple Pilots were the same way. So a lot of us didn't like them, you know what I mean? that has nothing to do with their talent. They were obviously great. They were amazing. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, dude, unfortunately he was really fucked up though, too. But, right. But yeah, I mean, people, were they from San Diego? I feel like they were from San Diego, dude. Let's look them up for a sec. Right. Yeah, they were from San Diego. Yeah, see, that's another thing, dude. That's another thing that why nobody liked them, boss. Okay? Right? That's another thing why nobody liked them. Because they like what they did was they came in and they fucking, right? They like signed to Atlantic Records like right away, but they weren't from LA. They were from fucking San Diego. So everybody in LA was like, fuck these guys. Like, we have LA, we have like Jane's Addiction, we have the fucking Chili Peppers, Fishbone, all these great bands, many of which are not taking off. And then all of a sudden, some band from San Diego signs to Atlantic Records, a band that nobody had ever heard of because I guess they just switched from Mighty Joe Young to whatever, to this new thing. So everybody in LA, like, we hated them, bro. We did, dude. We fucking hated them. Dude, everybody in LA in the 90s were like, fuck these guys. Although I think we secretly listened to some of their music, but we didn't like these guys because they came in and went right on the big label and right in the, you know what I'm saying? And it felt very unearned to the people in the LA scene, right? That like these guys from San Diego all of a sudden are like all over the radio, right? Yeah, we were just like, man, not a fan, dude. Right? Nobody was a fan of these guys. Dude, that's why. It's the San Diego thing, dude. Let's go. Dude, territorial, but hey, if you went and surfed, all right, you went and surfed down in Huntington from LA, you had to deal with shit too, right? They didn't like us down there. We didn't like them up here, right? Dude, my bass player loves Stone Temple Pilots, but I wouldn't listen to him for a long time. I listened to him later. I started listening to him in like the 2000s. But yeah, in the 90s, though, everybody in the scene I was in was like, F those guys. You couldn't be caught listening to them, dude. Right? You just couldn't. It was not like the scene I was in, dude. We weren't going to listen to that shit. But we, guys, you have to understand that I was in a scene in LA where like we didn't listen to a lot of like, we didn't like a lot of the super commercially successful shit. Okay? Like, Jane's Addiction was commercial, but they were like different. They were not radio. They were commercial, but they were very not commercial. And then the Nymphs and you had like, Tool was also like not super commercial. There were other bands like Coal Chamber and shit that were, more aggressive and not commercial. And no, K-Rock was cool, but it was more about the difference between making, it was like the difference between the music that you would listen to and the music that you would listen to and your mom would also be listening to. Okay? And so what it was, guys, I know Coal Chamber was later, but all the guys in that band were around earlier, right? They were around in the mid 90s. And then there was like Incubus came up. We didn't like Incubus either. Okay? A lot of people in the late 90s didn't like Incubus. But so what it was though, guys, is I don't know if you know how scenes work, but like scenes are like, I don't know, you're kind of tight knit. And so it was easier for us to like the music from Seattle, okay, because it was not in our scene, right? And so that's what I think happened is we, like, if Stone Temple Pilots had been from Seattle, I bet everybody in the 90s rock scene in LA would have liked them. But because they were from San Diego, it was like, nah, right? Because they weren't in the LA scene. They didn't really become part of the LA scene and blow up. They became big in San Diego and then they blew up nationally. And so the people in LA were like, who are these fucking guys? Right? But it was easier for us to like bands that were, 1,000 miles away for some reason. I don't know why it's like that. Scenes are not, they're stupid, but they are what they are. We had a fucking scene and we stuck to our scene. You know what I'm saying? We did, and that's how we did. Like it or like right or wrong, right? See, Sublime, they were from Long Beach, but Sublime were like part of the scene, okay? But they were different though. Like they weren't like major label guys, okay? Sublime played parties and they sold records out of the back of their fucking cars and shit. And they were in with the surfers and, they were not dudes who like instantly got signed to fucking, Capitol Records or some shit like that. Like they were guys that were working, for nothing and selling shit out of their car for years, and then they fucking broke big. And that was it. Like there was a thing in the 90s that you had to pay your dues in and around the scene in order to be respected as part of the scene. And so if you blew up really fast, if you like showed up and just schmoozed with all the right people and signed to a record label real quick, everybody hated you. Everybody just didn't like you because they felt like you were fast tracking, like you were just trying to get rich and not like you didn't want to be part of the fucking scene that was there, right? And I mean, it's stupid and juvenile, but that's just the way it is in music scenes. That's kind of how it is, You know what I mean? That's just it, right? Dude. And then some people become venerable things in the scene and they never, right? We're a bunch of LA music snobs. I mean, sure. Dude, we were total snobs, right? We were total snobs. But guys, we were snobs for a reason though, because Jane's Addiction blew up and kicked the door open, and then everything moved to Seattle. And then we watched our LA scene get picked apart by like hip hop, okay? In the 90s, it was really hard, guys. We literally watched our music scene get gutted by hip hop dance clubs. DJs started putting the music scene out of business, and clubs started closing. Clubs started turning into like meat markets where a bunch of chads were like trying to get laid, trying to roofie girls and shit. And so we watched like a lot of like a really good music scene get gutted, and like, that's hard. It was hard, man, in the 90s. That's part of the reason why I wanted to get out of there too. Why I moved to Portland, because Portland had a fucking scene that was more like the one that spawned Jane's Addiction. That was just insular, and it was much more closed, and a group of people that were about the art and shit. And so that's why I moved up here, right? Pretty crazy. Dude, Kurt Cobain hated Axl Rose. Dude, Axl Rose was a racist and a misogynist. Dude, Axl Rose was trash. He was, dude. He's a trashy human being. All right, you ready? Moving on. All right. Dude, we're getting back to politics. Let's go. LA in general is fake. I disagree. Okay? I mean, there's fake in LA, but I think that people saying LA is fake is actually incorrect. There's a lot of real in LA. There's a lot of fake in LA, and there's a lot of like, posturing, and there's a fashion scene, and there's a lot of like commercial in LA, but like, dude, I don't think LA's fake, right? I don't think it's any faker. In fact, you know what's funny? I hate to say this, but when I came to Portland, I felt like Portland was more fake in a way than LA was, okay? Because Portland, like everybody kind of like cared about making money, but they pretended like they didn't. And whereas like in LA, people were much more open with their desire of making money. They weren't afraid to make money. And in Portland, and everybody had to like, you had to be careful how you made money or how you came into money because you didn't want to piss anybody off or they might not like you, which was also like the downside of the insular scenes, right? Dude, it's like weird. San Francisco was like kind of pretentious too. But yeah, dude, LA is like, dude, there's so much. LA's amazing, dude. LA is amazing. Dude, San Francisco, though, kind of hates everybody, though, Orphan, because San Francisco's like super pretentious. Everybody moves to San Francisco and they instantly think they are the most evolved and thoughtful and like activists and like whatever. They think they have just become a superior breed of human being. like once they fucking move to San Francisco, I mean, come on, bro. I love the city. And I had a bunch of ex-girlfriends live there and I played a ton of shows there. I had a Russian girlfriend there that like, I loved San Francisco. I love the city, but you can't say that it's not one of the more pretentious places on earth, dude. Come on. I mean, let's be honest, dude. Dude, it is like so pretentious, you know, dude. It is, dude. Like, I mean, that's kind of what makes it what it is, though, right? It's like, if it wasn't that pretentious, I mean, think about it. It's the city that fucking sparked the fucking summer of love and a lot of the, you know what I'm saying? Like the entire hippie movement and the you know, the bra burning and a lot of the anti-war shit. Like, you don't get that without some fucking serious, like, you know, some serious attitude, boss. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Right? It is like, dude, that was the epicenter, bro. Right? It's like you go to Paris, okay? Paris was the epicenter of like painting and impressionism and shit. But if you go to Paris, dude, there's a lot of attitude. There's a ton of pretentiousness, of course, because it's fucking epicenter, boss. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like New York, there's pretentiousness in New York too. I love New York. Let's go, dude. You know? Oh shit. Oh shit. Dude, I'm making the San Francisco people mad. I'm sorry. Dude, I don't think it's a negative, right? I don't think it's a negative. I think it's, you know, it's just another quality. But all right, dude, the Bad Bunny. Dude, this show was epic, dude. It was so epic. Dude, the fucking, man, the sugar cane, dude. Like, dude, having them start in the, right? Having them start, guys, in the sugar cane fields was wild, man. That shit was, I don't know, dude. There was something about this that I felt like, in a weird way, this was one of the most American fucking Super Bowl halftime shows I think I've ever seen in my life, right? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And even though I couldn't understand a word of it, it felt like one of the most intrinsically tied to fucking, hey, dude, there he is, Seahawks, let's go. Dude, let's go. Dude, oh my God, your fucking profile picture is amazing, dude. I love that, with you with the green hat. That is amazing, dude, let's go. Dude, what did you think of the halftime show, Bryce? I'm telling you, like, this felt like one of the most American, like, something that was so in touch with the American struggle and with the American, like, you know, I mean, if you look at Puerto Rico and what they went through in the Caribbean with the, you know, the slave trade and the sugar cane and the, you know, the pirating. Tough. Love when he shouted all the countries in the continent. Yeah. Like, when you think about it, guys, remember, guys, all these MAGA shitheads, who do they love? Okay? Who does MAGA love of all these explorer guys? The guy who never set foot in North America. They love Christopher Columbus. Well, where did Christopher Columbus land, guys? He landed here. Okay? He landed where fucking Puerto Rico is. And DR and Haiti, right? That's where he landed. Like, how can they love Christopher Columbus and fucking hate Puerto Rico? They're fucking idiots, bro. You know what I'm saying? They're fucking idiots. I mean, it was like he was in that region and it was all fucking sugarcane and fucking, you know, and sex trafficking and enslavement and, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, that to me is weird because, you know, at the end of the day, the reason why they like Christopher Columbus is because he was brutal. They liked him because he was a murderer, okay? Because he was a rapist and an enslaver and a murderer. And, like, that's what they like about him. They like he was a douchebag. You know what I'm saying? And no, it was not Liam. It was not. It was an actor, right? Yeah. Right. Let's go. Oh, you accidentally deleted a message? Yeah, that happens. Right? Dude, yeah, no, that's why they like Columbus. Right? They like Columbus. Dude, yeah, Puerto Rico should be a state. DC should be a state. That would be 4 more senators, right? They're never going to let it happen because it would be 4 Democratic senators. And guys, again, think about this. Because DC, okay? Because DC, you had coconut rum. Was it Malibu? Did you have Malibu today, Bryce? Is that what you had? That's why. Think about this, guys. Right now, the only reason the Republicans are in power is because they are preventing Puerto Rico and DC from becoming states, guys. That's it. That's why the Republicans are in power. They should be states, okay? They should absolutely be states, man. You know? Sugars and rum. It is indeed. Dude, Prager, Jesus, don't get me started on that. Dude, I thought this was amazing. It was so like, I don't know, it was deep. It was deep. And yes, Christopher Columbus was Spanish and he did speak Spanish, but it was Vespucci, boss. Amerigo Vespucci was the guy, dude. Yeah, but he was traveling from Spain, boss. Right? He was speaking Spanish when he came to the Americas. Okay? He brought the Spanish language, right? He was Italian? I mean, I don't doubt that, but he was like shipping for Spain, right? He was like wasn't he he was a Spanish, an explorer for Spain, right? Even though I didn't know he was Italian, but it makes sense. I mean, Amerigo Vespucci was Italian too, but like a lot of them were doing missions for Spain. They were like contractors in a way, right? They were like, that's what they did. They had to go where the money went. And it's funny too, because Amerigo Vespucci was from Italy, and he was the first guy to hit the American continent. And then Vespucci helped Columbus like get money. Like he helped him outfit ships because they needed money to do that shit, right? And it was usually Spain, and I think sometimes it was even Portugal. I think sometimes Portugal funded some of that stuff too, right? Yeah, Portugal had a long history of like that shit. Right? But he was brutal, right? He was brutal. I mean, it took money, guys. It took money, right? It did. You needed money, right? You needed money. Vespucci? Dude, Amerigo Vespucci. That's why we're called America, okay? Amerigo, right? We're not called Columbia, Columbusa, the United States of Columbica. No, we are the United States of America, right? Like, you know, and duh, right? They don't get it. Dude, and Columbus never fucking even step foot in North America, in any of the territory that is the United States. Columbus never did. Okay? He never did. Right? Dude, Columbus didn't kill Epstein. Dude, you guys are funny. That's funny. No, Columbus did not kill Epstein. Dude, look at this fucking picture, though, dude. Look at her. What is she doing, dude? Dude, America is a whole continent. Well, it's 2 continents, right? But they originally thought it was 1. Then it became 2. This is another person we never heard of, dude. Oh, look at this guy, dude. Jesus. What is this dude, bro? Like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Dude. Bro. Dude, why do they all look like this? Right? Dude, why do all the MAGA people look like this, guys? You know, I don't understand. They're all like sweaty, like with the same sort of bad haircut, like, you know, like fucking Bob Eubanks hair. Dude, with the red faces. Dude, right? You know what I'm saying? They're sweaty. They're a little bloated. They all have Bob Eubanks, like 1975 game show host hair, right? And usually if they're, you know, they have some kind of a sweaty beard, right? Dude, there's just like, I don't know, dude. This to me is like the part of America that like, I love something that's a little more diverse than that. And the other thing that's weird about this too is like, look at how this is, right? How the band is like way back there. And he's like, oh, I'm up in the front. It's me. And I know it's him in the band, but he's not part of the band. It's more like it's me, 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 me. You know what I mean? You know, like even when you see Taylor Swift, which literally she's the artist, she's like surrounded by her people. They do. They all look like pastors. I mean, but that's what TPUSA is TPUSA is just a shitty mega church is what it is. It's a mega church that is like filled with, you know, sexually like aggressive kids. That's what TPUSA is. A bunch of youth pastors all preying on each other. Oh, here's Kid Rock, dude. Dude, lip syncing. Oh, look at him. Oh, look. Oh, he's wearing the white fucking fur. Dude, here, we're going to just watch a little with the volume off because I don't want to get copy struck. But, dude, with an American flag. But, dude, he is like the least American thing out there, bro. Look at him. This fucking, he's wearing like denim shorts, dude. He's wearing like shorts that like you wear when you're on a boat, right? You know what I mean? Like, dude, so cheesy. He's so cheesy, dude. Yeah, what was the licensing issue? I think the licensing issue was like, nobody wanted to watch this shit. That's the real licensing issue. I mean, look at the crowd. Okay, let's look at that crowd shot. Oh, we're going to pause on the crowd shot because it shows the crowd. There's like 100 people. Oh, look at the crowd, dude. They're literally, it's all white people, dude. That's what this is, guys. It's, you know, I heard it called Clanchella, okay? And it's white people performing for white people to make music that is okay and digestible to white people. And it's music that makes white people look fucking feel safe and feel like they're not being oppressed. Music that's nice to white people. Clanchella, let's see where it was filmed, where it was performed. So it's in Atlanta, and it was pre-taped. Okay? So guys, dude, it wasn't even live. Dude, it wasn't even live. It was pre-taped, bro. They pre-taped it. They pre-taped a show, which means they may have started songs over and shit. We don't even know what they did, right? They probably, if they had a hitch, they started over. Multiple cameras. They edited a pre-taped performance together. And then they said, here's our lip-synced, pre-taped participation trophy of a halftime show. Dude. And then we're going to be like, oh, look. Dude, but did you see these guys? Can I just tell you? Guys, look at what they were saying, though. You ready? Look at this guy, dude. Eric, you know Eric Doherty, right? Fucking this guy. Look at what this guy said. Okay, watch what this guy said right here. This is the craziest shit. Look at this. He said, reports indicate X usage, right? Twitter usage got so high during the TPUSA All-American Halftime Show, the platform was down for brief moments. We broke the internet. We run the culture now. So this wasn't on Twitter, but what they're saying is so many people were watching the show and talking about it on Twitter that Twitter went down for a minute and like for brief moments because they broke the internet because they are the culture now. Dude, they are not the culture. Twitter did not go down. Nobody was, I mean, all of these idiots and the bot farms were spreading this shit, but nobody was talking about, like, right? Nobody was talking about fucking, you know, during Bad Bunny's show, nobody was tweeting about it because they were watching it, dude, right? Nobody tweeted at all. Right? Nobody was tweeting during Bad Bunny at all because everybody was just totally captivated. They were blown away. They were like completely in awe of what they were watching. And then when it was done, they were like, holy shit, everybody flocked to Twitter. But like here, nobody was even watching this shit. It was like fluff, dog shit, 5th place trophy of Riley Gaines. So everybody was tweeting the whole time, oh, this is so good. Oh, this is the best thing ever. Oh, this taped thing where they're lip syncing in this tiny room with 100 people with an American flag is so good. Oh, it's the best thing ever. Oh, these sweaty, like red meat filled men, like oozing fucking meat sweat while they like, you know, spread the gospel. Oh, this taped lip sync thing. So good. Oh, dude, I can see the meat sweat just like soaking up their clothes. Oh, guys. Oh, so good. Dude, tell me I'm wrong. I am not wrong, bro. That's exactly what it was, dude. The meat sweat, dude. Right? Dude, and then everybody, as soon as it was done, like, you know, 500,000 people went and sat on the toilet for like 40 minutes to get rid of like 18 pounds of red meat. Bro. Dude. That is exactly what went down. Oh, shit. Dude, let's go. Dude, I'm not wrong. Isn't that funny? Dude, yeah, no, a lot of the right wingers are in the closet. It's true. It's true. Dude, that's what this fucking was. But we, look at that. We run the culture now, is what they're saying, right? And then look at this, guys. They're like, holy crap, Kid Rock is surging on the Twitter trending. Bad Bunny is nowhere to be found. Major flop, major success. Oh, yeah. I wonder why Bad Bunny like wasn't trending. But like, dude, they look at this. He says Bad Bunny is nowhere to be found, but look at who's number 2, dude. Right? Like, they don't even realize that number 2 is that's Bad Bunny, dude. Right? That's just it. They're so dumb. Right? They're like so dumb. They're like, Bad Bunny is nowhere to be found. It's like, yeah, he is. He's right up at the top, bro. What are you talking about? He's like number 2, dude. It's like they're so dumb. They own the culture, but like, no, you don't. You don't even know what the fuck is going on. You don't like they clown themselves, right? When they look at this and Kid Rock is on the bottom of this list and they're like, Bad Bunny is nowhere to be found. And it's like, dude, Bad Bunny's right there, bro. He is right under the Super Bowl, dude. Right under, and you know, and Puerto Rico is trending more than fucking Bad Bunny, right? But like, dude, isn't that funny? Like, they're so dumb. Like, they're so dumb, bro. I mean, is that not the most embarrassing thing ever? Right? And did somebody at least call him out on it? Like, bro, like, dude. It's like, dude, is nobody Benito? Yeah, there we go. Finally, Benito is Bad Bunny. Dude, you actually posted this? Benito must be an alien, I guess. Look at this guy. Dude, this guy, like, spared no fucking, right? That guy spared minced no words, dude. Benito. So who do you think Benito is? Dude, they're asking Grok. Oh my God, dude. Dude. But like, none of the MAGA people, right? Like, none of the MAGA people even know. It's like they're so dumb and they're just not even aware of how dumb they are, right? Guy doesn't know who Benito is. He's literally number 2, dude. Coach Tugnut. Dude, leave it to Coach Tugnut to set these guys straight, bro. Oh my God, bro. Dude. Oh my God, dude. Dude. That's so funny. Dude. Oh shit, bro. Dude, that's so funny. Like, I mean, it's like hard to process. It's hard to process. Like, dude, Coach Tugnut just killed me, bro. Oh man, I gotta find that one, dude. I gotta like Coach Tugnut, bro. Homie. We gotta find him, dude. I gotta drop a like on the tug. Dude, that shit is amazing. Oh my God, I remember Mary Lou Retton. Dude, there he is. There's Coach Tugnut. We're gonna fucking save that one, dude. Oh man, dude. That shit is amazing. Dude, yeah, they think his first name is Bad. Bro, oh my God. Dude, the brain rot, right? The brain rot. That is what's so wild about this, that like they just meme themselves. You know what I mean? They meme themselves so hard, guys. Like, so hard, bro. You know? Like they do. They meme themselves so hard. Dude, Bad Bunny is nowhere to be found, bro. Dude. Oh man, that is incredible. That is, I mean, chef's kiss, right? A 10 of 10. Yeah. And you know, this is I think this is good though. What we're going through now, I think is really good because obviously they're not aware, like even, you know, they're not aware of like how unevolved they are. But what I do like is it used to be this thing where the world didn't truly know. You know what I'm saying? Like the world used to like have some thoughts about America, but they didn't just know that like 35% of America are just completely fucking clueless and power hungry and fake religious, and they're liars and they're abusive. They're abusive, like plain and simple. They're like uneducated abusers, right? That are untalented, mediocre abusers. And now the whole fucking world like knows. The whole MAGA movement, everybody in the world knows that the MAGA movement are just like shitters. You know what I'm saying? They're just shitters, right? It's like they've outed themselves so hard to being so hypocritical, to being so, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like their whole movement has this super like crazy rep where now everybody's just done with them. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's like done with them, you know? Like done. Dude. Crazy how dumb they are. Dude, but Kid Rock is absolutely crushing it right now. But like, no, he's not. Again, the crowd is going haywire. Dude, the crowd is like 100 people, but this is taped. Dude, Kid Rock was sitting somewhere drinking a beer while they were watching this. And so again, this whole thing's a fraud. When he said Kid Rock is crushing it right now, he's not, dude. Kid Rock was probably at Mar-a-Lago watching the fucking Bad Bunny show, okay? It was not even live. We don't even know when this shit was taped. I mean, did you see? We got to look at Donald Trump, okay? Because obviously today, this is going to be most of the political focus, but we do have to look at Trump because Trump had a melter. Oh my God, dude, Trump had a meltdown, boss. He just had a melter. Okay? Oh, shit, dude. J.D. Vance should smile more. J.D. Vance should wear a suit. Oh, brutal. All right, let's look at Trump's melter. Dude, there it was. Okay, there was the big sign. The only thing more powerful than hate is love. After like a 20-minute theatrical production that was the result of like 10,000 people working together. Dude, 10,000 people of every stripe in North and South America, every nationality, every gender, every sexuality, every sexual orientation, every gender identity, every color, every country in the Americas, and probably a whole bunch of Europeans. 10,000 people put together this show that was crafted and sculpted and thoughtful and insightful. And it was about our history, about our togetherness, about what makes us powerful, about the shit we've survived. Okay. And it was enjoyed by 70,000 people that were watching, athletes at the peak of their performance. And it was all done live by human beings in the moment, putting their vulnerability out there, okay? And it was amazing, and even though I couldn't understand a word of it, it moved me like probably more than any other halftime show I've ever seen. But the thing was so powerfully scripted. It was a story. It was like my story, and it was Benito's story, and it was like everybody in that stadium's story, okay? Now, the TPUSA All-American thing was a pre-taped, prefabricated production released on the internet as pretending to be live, okay? Everybody was tweeting through it. There was no story to it. It was some Bible scriptures and a bunch of meat sweating men, you know, and like one woman, okay, fucking under some lights in a room somewhere in front of 200 people. Everybody was white, and they were just only showing up because they felt like white people were getting dissed by all the diversity. And so they had to do something contrarian and then try to make it seem like it was bigger than it was, okay? When their whole thing was just, it was mediocre, okay? It was mediocre. Toilet Paper USA and MAGA Epstein is coping and seething over the greatness of Bad Bunny. Their answer, kid, slop. Yes, Johnny. I mean, let's be honest, dude. Their whole thing was a pre-taped, mediocre performance that was really not even a good rebellion, because it wasn't like a rebellion of like, oh, we have something really to fucking, we're challenging what you're doing. It was like, no, we're just going to be mediocre, but we're white. And so being mediocre and white with some money behind it means everybody's going to tweet about it. Like, but people were literally tweeting through the whole thing. Nobody was watching their shit. Nobody watched that thing. They all tweeted through it. Okay. Everybody tweeted through it, but nobody watched their show. Nobody. It wasn't even a good show. It was, you could see that show at any fucking venue in the United States any day of any fucking year, right? Right? I could go to a club tomorrow in Portland and I could watch performers do the same goddamn show with some lights and a flag and some fucking whatever, some lights, and the lights go down, acoustic guitar, they say something about Jesus. Like, dude, I could go to a mega church or a country fair, right? County fair and see that shit. But like this was like a once in a lifetime epic 10,000 people combined together, like dancers, united, choreographed, rehearsed, people hanging from fucking telephone poles and shit. Something that was rehearsed and scripted to have meaning, and a bunch of people working together to make this larger than life celebration of who we are as human beings. And like, dude, I'm sorry, TPUSA, you guys don't even understand it. Like the reason you can't compete is because you guys don't even understand what you're competing against, because you are stuck in the mediocrity of like having that white Christian supremacy on your side. So you've never developed the shit that allows you to do this fucking greatness. Like they've never developed it. They're just a bunch of mediocre white dudes with money. And that's it. That's why they show up and they do what everybody does everywhere. And they say it's great because it's being done by mediocre white Christian dudes with money. And so to them, no matter what they do, it's better than even the best of the best in their eyes. But like, man, dude, right? Their supremacy is not supreme, right? It's not, right? And I think though, guys, I think we all see it now, okay? That's what I think is so crazy about it, is we all see it. And so let's look at Trump's response here, okay? Because Trump freaked out. He did. You ready? So here's Trump's response. And he did this like right after it was done, okay? So Trump says, the Super Bowl halftime show is absolutely terrible. One of the worst ever. It makes no sense, is an affront to the greatness of America, and doesn't represent our standards of success, creativity, or excellence. Dude, what a clown. Nobody understands a word this guy is saying. The dancing is disgusting, especially for young children that are watching from throughout the USA and all over the world. This show is just a slap in the face to our country, which is setting new standards and records every single day, including the best stock market that is only affects 10% of the country, and 401ks in history. No one cares. There is nothing inspirational about this mess of a halftime show, and watch. It will get great reviews from the fake news media because they haven't got a clue of what is going on in the real world. And by the way, the NFL should immediately replace its ridiculous new kickoff rule Make America Great Again, President Donald J. Trump. Dude, I know the jerk it dance, right? Like, what does he do? He's like, right? He didn't even do a good jerk it dance. I do a good jerk it dance. Dude, what is his fucking clownery? Okay, he crashed out. It is amazing. All right, so let's see though, because there was some footage, guys. Okay, there was some footage. Dude, Game Shark says, for a group whose founder preached to love thy neighbor, they sure are good at hating everyone who isn't them. Yes, indeed, they are. Absolutely, Game Shark. Right? So let's look it up though, because there were some scenes from Mar-a-Lago. Okay, right? Look at this shit. They're watching Bad Bunny, guys. Okay, there is Trump, and I don't even know, right? Oh, lady, who's Lady G? Who is that? Like, who's Lady G? I don't even know who that is. Do we know who that woman is? Trump and Lady G? Is that, oh, Lindsey Graham. Yes. Oh, got it. Lindsey. Of course. No, it's Lindsey Graham. But look at it, dude. They're watching Bad Bunny, guys. They were not. Thank you. Well, guys, when I was looking at the woman he was sitting next to, but now I see they're talking about fucking, is this Lindsay? It is, isn't it? At the table. But like, dude, they're watching Bad Bunny. No, that the blonde woman's not Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga was in San Francisco. Dude, dude, Lady Gaga, you are never going to see Lady Gaga sitting in Mar-a-Lago next to Donald Trump. Never. Dude, there's no way, bro. Like, I know you were kidding, right? But like, dude, there's no way. Or Jose said it. Jose was kidding. Dude, there's no way. Dude, that's one thing you will never see, bro. You will not. Dude, I think Lindsey Graham will come out before that happens, right? Oh, shit. I mean, Lady Gaga was in the show. But look at them, dude. They're watching it. Dude, I thought the dancing was tight. Why do they think the dancing is fucking, right? What is their thing about the dancing being disgusting? Like, really? Are we in Footloose now? Is that what we're doing? Or is it Footloose? They've turned into the people in Footloose. I know, because they don't dance like this, right? Right? Here's the way MAGA dances. Right? And you know what I mean? And the women are only allowed to dance in strip clubs. Okay? The women have to be in strip clubs. That's it. That's the only dancing they allow. You either got it, right? Dude, yeah, they cannot dance. Dude, they're afraid to move their hips. Because the thing about them too is I think MAGA, like uniformly, guys, MAGA are like, they're not good at that activity that they're all ashamed of, right? You know that activity that they're all ashamed of, that they all are so afraid of? They're not good at it, okay? They're not. They're terrible at it, okay? They watch too much of the Hub, and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're like jackrabbits that don't know how to use their equipment with poor rhythm. They don't know how to get in unison with their partner. That's what I'm saying, C-Punk. I'm saying they're terrible at that activity, right? They are. Like, they don't know how to build rhythm with their partner. They only know how to, like, attack. And dude, that's why their women are all, you know, like, just raising the kids, because it keeps them away from having to interact with the dudes. They're like, you know what? Instead of, like, me being your partner, I'm just going to go raise the kids. I'm going to go do this because you suck at this, bro. We got the kids. Now I'm done. Right? Dude, that's it. You know? Oh, shit. There, look at this. White House press secretary with her grandfather. It's so good. Oh, shit. Dude. But yeah, dude, the fact that they're watching this, I saw some photos too. I felt like there were some photos. Yeah, maybe it was just that one video that was being passed along, right? But dude, they all I can say though, guys, is that none of these people at Mar-a-Lago, they were not watching the TPUSA thing. Okay? They did not. They did not watch the TPUSA thing. Okay? They did not. Not at all. None of them did. Nobody was watching that schlop. Okay? Nobody. Not a single person in Mar-a-Lago was watching that schlop. Dude, nope. Trump dancing makes you think of Trump cleaning his ears. Dude, Trump dancing makes me think of like, you know, women packing their bags and leaving. Okay? I'm serious. Every time I see Trump dancing, you know that like the only reason women are fucking even near him is like money. That's it. Right? So yeah, I guess it's just that one video. I thought I had seen some photos, but it's just that one video, dude. GG's. Dude, what a game though. Dude, one of the wokest cities in America, like won the Super Bowl, dude. Convincingly. Okay? Convincingly. Now, there were some commercials that I did enjoy. Okay? There were a couple commercials I enjoyed. I don't know about you guys. I did not see all the commercials because I was also like making a thumbnail and shit and trying to get my video out. But there were some commercials I enjoyed. I liked the Goodwill Dunkin'. I heard some people complaining about the Goodwill Dunkin' one, but I liked the Goodwill Dunkin'. That one I thought was pretty entertaining. Let's see some. I don't think I can play them. I think they would get copy struck right now. So I will maybe like test, and maybe I'll test and see if I can like upload some to see if they get copy struck and we can look at them tomorrow, right? Because I don't want to get copy struck. But there was the Goodwill Dunkin' that had like Tom Brady and Jennifer Aniston and Sam Malone, all these characters from the 80s and 90s, and right. And then there were like, but they were like, they aged them. They sort of did post-production to make them all young again, which was kind of an interesting nod, right? Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was kind of, somebody mentioned that they did a David Fincher trailer. I didn't see that, but that is a David Fincher technique. He did that kind of shit using CG to like put like Armie Hammer's head on two bodies in fucking The Social Network. And then what he did with Benjamin Button. Dude, we got to watch the Survivors video. We're going to watch that real quick here in a minute. I think that's important. But, yeah, dude, Armie Hammer's not a good dude, I don't think. But he, like, was in The Social Network, right? He's not a good guy, I don't think. I think he's fucking, right? Isn't he an abuser? Right? I think he is, right? I really think he's an abuser. Yeah, like, you know, another one of those SA guys. But anyway, to the, I liked the Goodwill Dunkin', but you know what my favorite commercial was, guys? My favorite commercial, hands down, was the Bud Light wedding. Okay? The Bud Light wedding. Remember all right, so you know how there was a superstar band with fucking Post Malone and they did a tribute to Ozzy? Dude, that shit was so moving to me with them doing Ozzy Osbourne and shit, right? Right? But yeah, the one where they went downhill, the downhill keg roll with Post Malone and fucking, you know, Peyton Manning. And because Post Malone had that band where they did, right? Where they did 𝗙𝗍𝗍, okay? And they performed 𝗙𝗍's songs with a star-studded band. And so then, dude, Post Malone was in the commercial with fucking, with Peyton Manning. And it's like that. Is it Scottish or is it Irish, right? Or Welsh? They have that thing where they do the body rolling, the cheese roll with their bodies, right? You know, where they go running down the hill, just bombing down the hill. Dude, it's Gaelic. I think it might be Welsh, right? But dude, it was so good with the keg and fucking all those guys. Dude, what I'll do, guys, is I'll try uploading some bits and we'll watch them tomorrow. We'll see if we can get away with it. Or what we'll do, guys, you ready? Or what we'll do is this, is we'll do a stream and then we'll do a second stream tomorrow where we'll watch some Super Bowl commercials and then they can just copy strike the stream afterwards, but we can watch it. We'll do it at the very end, okay? Like tomorrow or something. Or we'll start off and we'll watch some Super Bowl commercials and then we'll cut it. We'll start a new stream, all right? Tomorrow we'll do that and we'll look at some of them. But yeah, dude, that one I really like. But we are going to watch the Survivors one. Okay, let's watch the Survivors one right now. Because this is big, guys, because there was a couple things, okay, where the Survivors made this video, okay, and they said that they're not moving on. And guys, I've talked about this, okay? I've done battle with a lot of people over this Epstein stuff because I've covered this. And I've done battle with people both on Twitter and in my YouTube comments of people saying there's never going to be any consequences. Like nothing's ever going to happen with this, blah, blah, blah. And my thing is like, no, is like we are like, they're not going to give up. Okay. They're not going to give up, guys. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to give up. Okay. I don't think the Survivors are going to give up. Okay. I think the Survivors, there is like enough, you know how shit, once it gets out in the light, you just sort of can't stop it. I feel like there's enough of this shit that is out now that it's reached a critical mass. Like it's on the downhill. It went up a bell curve and it got over the fucking edge. Okay. And now the Survivors have said shit like, you know what? We're going to release the names in 5 days or whatever. I don't know how accurate that is, but I did see some shit on Twitter that we should look at. But let's look at this video, okay? Yeah, they've said they're going to read the names on the floor where there's immunity, guys. Remember what we talked about with Nancy Mace? How Nancy Mace went and she used the speech and debate clause to go talk about right? To go talk about her ex-husband and whatnot. And I think they're going to use the speech and debate clause to out some of the names from these survivors because then they can't be prosecuted with it. They can't, right? They can't be sued for defamation. It is like a whistleblower immunity. Exactly. And dude, in Europe, they're all stepping down and shit. Okay. In Europe, everybody is stepping down that's connected to it. Here in America, dude, the MAGAs, they celebrate this shit. All right, but anyway, here we go. You ready? Let's watch this. Dude, wait, I want to see one that's a little higher quality. Dude, hold on. Let's find one. Do they have one that's higher quality or no? Oh, I guess they don't. I guess it's all because the high quality one, they don't want to put it out because it's on the Super Bowl. All right, never mind. This is all we get. You ready? Here we go. Low res version. All right, here we go, guys. The country charges Bone Spur. Can we kidnap him a la Venezuela? Dude, I think if you guys do a Maduro to Trump, I don't think anyone's going to really put up a fight, guys.
After years of being kept apart, we're standing together.
Standing together.
Because this girl deserves the truth.
Because she deserves the truth.
Because we all deserve the truth.
Dude, they're kids, bro. Dude, I love how it's, you notice how it's also WWE, right? World Without Exploitation. Another WWE. I like that. That's a nice little attention to detail. But like, guys, it's so crazy. I mean, when you see this shit, when you see how young these people are, like Annie Farmer, dude, she was so young, okay? They're like some of them are so young, you know what I mean? It's like crazy how, and these aren't even the youngest among them, you know? And like, it's crazy, but really wild. 3 million files, guys, which means like 40% of this stuff has not been released. 40% is not getting released, okay? Right? 40% just being hidden. And what they did release was like doxed victims, okay? Had, you know, unclothed pictures of young victims, okay? Doxed and exposed, and all of that shit was supposed to be covered, and they purposely left a whole bunch of victims out in the vulnerable limelight, and they redacted, you know, politicians and rich people. They redacted people that they shouldn't have been redacting, people that worked for Epstein, you know, just crazy how cumbersome it was. And then there were things like this, guys, okay? There were things like this document. I'm going to show you one right now, okay, where they did like this shit. Give me a sec here to find it. Dude, this shit is like blows my mind that they did this. But where is it? Oh, I know where it is. It's in the Dropbox folder. Okay, this one. Look at this. 338 pages, guys. Completely redacted. Right? Look at that. Isn't that nuts? Like, what is this, bro? Illegal. This is illegal. This is complete nonsense. This is totally illegal. This is breaking the law. They're breaking a federal law right here. You know? And isn't that insane? That kind of shit. Oh, I see. Oh, wait. Oh, fuck, bro. Hold on. Oh, I think I removed it from the Dropbox accidentally. And I screwed it up. Shit, boss. All right. All right, I'm going to have to re-get it now. Right? You know what I'm saying? Isn't that crazy? Dude, I mean, that shit is just not, that shit is not okay. Okay? It is not. It is not okay, guys. Dude, they're hiding so much, dude. Dude. They're hiding so much, man. Dude. All... Just flush it. Just flush it, boss. Dude, I mean, it feels like all of these people should be investigated. You know what I mean? Like, I saw this thing today. Did you guys see this? I don't know if you saw this video, but we should look at this. I know I saved this one, I think. All right. Let me see if I found it. Yes. So there is a, right? There is a fucking, a thing that says, it's called the Pedo Bowl. This was on the walls of the building, okay? And so they have the Epstein Files leaders. And look at this. They projected this onto a building in the Super Bowl, right by the Super Bowl. And so Donald Trump, 5,300 mentions, okay? Number 2, right? They had Elon Musk had 1,465. Okay, number 2, I think, was Bill Gates with 2,592. Okay, and then they had Steve Bannon. No, Steve Bannon had even more, 2,901. Okay, Bill Clinton, 1,200. Right, and then Prince Andrew, Peter Thiel, and Howard Lutnick were all in business with him. Right, but isn't that crazy? Like that Trump, 5,300. Okay? Dude, Elon, 1,400. Dude, Clinton's the least. So it goes Trump, Bannon, Gates, Elon, Clinton. Clinton's on the bottom. And the only person they want to, right, the only person that they want to investigate is right? The only person they want to investigate is Clinton, the guy with the least number of mentions. Okay? Ready? Now, look at this. You ready? Let's watch these guys lie about their halftime show.
Andrew, I watched your show. It was great. How did you do? Do you have a sense?
Dude, the show was dog shit.
And how many people watched?
Yeah, it was kind of blew our minds, actually, a little bit, Brian. And we saw at one point across all the different social channels, we saw over 10 million concurrent views. So that was adding up all of Rumble and all of our partners just on the social side. So,
dude, that's like, even if it were true, which we know it's not, because we know the YouTube was heavily botted, even if it were true, it is 10% of the Super Bowl, dude. 10%, not even 10%. It's like 8%, right? 7% of the Super Bowl, if that. I bet the Super Bowl was probably 150 million, right? Dude, they're such liars.
And now the numbers keep trickling in. I mean, right now as I'm sitting here, YouTube's numbers keep updating. And so we're trying to put it all together. What I can safely say is that we are now over 20 million viewers across just social. So we haven't even gotten our partner broadcasters, their analytics. As you know, sometimes the ratings take a little while, but that's 20 million viewers. And we don't know how many people were gathered together, 3, 4, 10 in a room watching together. So
yeah, 3, 4, 10 in a room, guys. Dude, they are so high on their own supply, dude. They are such frauds, bro. Like, no way,
but we're
bro.
going to try and put a final number on that when we can. What we can safely say is over 20 million Americans tuned in to the All-American Halftime Show tonight.
You know, I looked at the pregame show. They had Green Day, the most anti-American band you could imagine. They wrote their hits album was called The American Idiot, and the lyrics reflect what he thinks of America.
Dude, no, they don't reflect what he thinks of America. They reflect what he thinks of you idiots, right? You uneducated people. Right here, you ready? I'll show you who he wrote that song about, guys. You ready? I mean, other than those two guys, but it's this guy, okay? You ready? Here's what American Idiot was written about. It was written about this tweet, right? Dude, holy crap. Bad Bunny is nowhere to be found. Bad Bunny, Benito, is nowhere to be found. Benito number 2, like way up above Kid Rock. That's what American Idiot is about. This is an American Idiot. Like, hello, I have no idea what I'm talking about, but I am so confident and so I am such the authority, but I don't even know how stupid I am. Right? There you go. There it is. That's the American Idiot right there, boss. Oh, yeah, and these two guys.
Number on that when we can. What we can safely say is over 20 million Americans tuned in to the All-American Halftime Show tonight.
You know, I looked at the pregame show. They had Green Day, the most anti-American band you could imagine. They wrote their hits album was called The American Idiot, and the lyrics reflect what he thinks of America and our policies. And then they have at halftime Bad Bunny. I mean, NFL is the #1 league in the world. And they do a lot right. I don't understand why in the year 250 they wouldn't think red, white, and blue, but you did. 𝗍𝗢 also released...
Dude, they did think red, white, and blue. That was it. Dude, they did think red, white, and blue. Like, that was one of the most red, white, and blue, like, halftime shows ever, man. It was like the nation of America. America is not a bunch of overweight, like poorly coiffed hair, meat sweaty, bearded dudes that like are just standing there playing boring ass music, afraid to move their hips in a room full of white people that are also afraid to move their hips. That's not America. That's like not even close to America, dude. That is like a VFW club in fucking Iowa. Bro, or a nursing home, right? A nursing home in Pawtucket, fucking, you know, right? Give me a fucking break, dude.
It's a song that is so appropriate about our culture. Talk about that.
Yeah, he actually wrote that in honor of Charlie. So, you know, he has a ton of hits, and he wanted to play this one. We said, absolutely. You wrote it for Charlie in his honor. So do it. And, I mean, that's what you saw from all of our performers. They did something special to honor the moment, honor how big the stage was, honor Charlie, honor our country.
Dude, why do you notice they were showing pictures of Bad Bunny while this guy's talking? This guy's talking and they're showing the real show. Oh, man, Charlie, dude.
And you saw that from Kid Rock, who said God woke him up in the middle of the night to write another verse to that hit song Till You Can't, and he used it to glorify Jesus and lift up his faith and be loud and proud about that. But
yeah, and hide some pedophiles with Trump. They're hiding some child SA abusers together, right? Jesus, God woke him up and said, dude, you should hide some pedophiles. That's what you really need to do.
Really, there was no agenda. It was just good music for Americans, for people that wanted to feel proud about their country, wanted to love their country, love their God, and love some great music. So, and that was in contrast to the other guys. That was on full display tonight, Brian.
And you notice, so if you had Kid Rock, Brantley Gilbert, 𝗍𝗢, and Gabby Barrett all performing tonight. But you mentioned that you went back and looked at Charlie Kirk's tweets. And you notice that he was always commenting on the halftime show. He's like, why can't they be a little bit more red, white, and blue? Why can't it be a little bit more pro-American when the whole world is watching? And that's what kind of motivated you guys to do something.
Yeah. Yeah, he was always fixated on this event, this halftime institution. He wanted it to lift up the best ideals of our country as opposed to pulling us down or
the best ideals of our country. Sorry, guys, but TPUSA is not the best ideals of our country. Not even close,
kind of the lowest
dude.
common denominator. He wanted it to lift us higher. He wanted it to be about our highest ideals. And, because of the success that it's blown our minds tonight, Brian. So we are going to commit to doing this again next year. We're going to do another halftime show for the country next year. So I'm breaking a little news here, Brian. 20 million at very minimum. I think that number is going to go higher, 40, maybe even 50 in the next 24 hours. So I can tell you that's a shot across the bow. People are paying attention. And, if you give us a year to plan this thing, I'm really excited to see what we can pull off. But we got to do it for the country. And this was a massive success, and we were grateful to do it.
And the Make Heaven Crowded tour gets started for 2026. Yeah. And that's going to be fantastic, too. And, of course, the president.
Dude, the Make Heaven Crowded tour.
Just going to be counting on you guys to get the vote out with Turning Point Action. So there's a lot of focus on Turning Point.
See, what's so funny about this though, guys, is like even at its core, like all they're doing is they're just riding off the coattails of the Super Bowl. Is right? That's all they're doing. Is they're not doing anything. The Super Bowl is putting together the spectacle, and they're doing something on the day of the Super Bowl that is like, oh, we're going to use the Super Bowl to try and make us look like we have so much power because we're so oppressed. We're going to try to make money on the Super Bowl day. Right? Dude. And they're so unoriginal. They're so mediocre, right? They're like, dude, they have to just, shoehorn their way in there and try to somehow fucking, right? They just can't not.
Point.
We're busy.
And you're a great spokesman for it. And the number one more time, how many people watched as of right now?
Oh.
Well, what we can say without a doubt, we over 20 million people, 20 million views on social, but that's not broadcast. That's not any of our OTT fast channels. So we don't know what that number is going to be.
Yeah, 20 million views on fucking social media. All right. Dude, not active though. 20 million not active views. I mean, we saw their chat, boss. We saw the chat. There was nobody. Look at this shit, dude. There was nobody. Okay, XQC. Look at him, dude. He's here. He puts it on live chat during the thing. There's a bunch of reactions being triggered, but not a single chatter, dude. Nobody was chatting. Look at his chat over here. Supposedly there's like a fucking 5 million people watching this shit. No. This was maybe it was embedded on 5 million web pages or some shit. There's a lot of way to skin a cat. But you know what I mean? Nobody's fucking watching this shit, dude. He's like, and then he fucking types in the chat.
Catch my fish.
He types in the chat, dude. And he's like, is the chat working? I don't think the chat's working. Hello? Yeah, oh, the chat's working. Dude. So there were chatters. But isn't that funny? He goes to top chat. He goes to live chat. And nothing. Dude, no movement, guys. I mean, guys, we have 770 people in chat right now. And the chat is moving. Right? Mostly moving. And it's also 1 a.m. Right? So people are more likely to be watching and not chatting. And we're still moving. Dude, Bad Bunny was great. It really was. It really, really was, guys. But all right, I'm gonna go make some videos, guys. I am. Okay? I'm going to go make some videos. We're going to have a big week of Epstein coming up, dude. I feel like some shit is about to break with this stuff. Okay? But this is crazy, right? Remember these guys? Remember when MAGA cared about this shit, guys? Remember when MAGA was like, yeah, Epstein files. Look at them with their binders. They're smiling. They're like, dude, we're going to release this shit. Now they're not even talking about it. Trump is in it 5,300 times, 4 times as much as Bill Clinton. They don't even care. They don't even care. They're not even looking for these people anymore. They're not doing shit. Bro, isn't it crazy? Right? Dude, right? It's insane that they don't care at all. They have completely abandoned this shit. Okay? Now, they said that they're not going to prosecute. I don't know if you guys saw this, okay? But, like, look at this. They said they're not prosecuting.
Thank you. You said this is the end of the Epstein, of your review of the Epstein files. So, just to clarify, is the public going to learn the identities of the men who abused the girls with the information that you're releasing? And if not, why not? And then I have a quick follow-up.
I mean, you just baked in an assumption into your question that I have never said and I don't know to be true. Is the public going to learn about men that abuse these girls? Like, what does that mean? I mean, I don't understand what that means.
Dude, what do you mean you don't understand that means? That, like, Epstein, like, brought girls to men. Men abused them. The girls have testified to this. You know who these men are. Are you going to arrest and prosecute them? Like, you know what that fucking means, bro. Like, what an idiot, dude. By the way, this is Trump's personal lawyer. Yeah, gaslighting prick is a nice way of putting it.
Well, I mean, they're the men who abused the young women through Epstein's.
Look, we said in July, and it remains as true today as it was in July.
In July?
If we had information, we meaning the Department of Justice,
we said in July,
about men who abused women, we would prosecute them, right?
Yeah. See, so what he's saying is that there are 8 million files. There's 8 million files related to Jeffrey Epstein. And in 8 million of those files, the only man who abused a woman in those 8 million files, the only one is Jeffrey? Nah. Every single survivor has said they were given to men, other men. So, like, where are those other men? Why are those other men not being heavily investigated? Dude, what the fuck is he talking about there, boss? Right?
We would prosecute them, right? We talked about the work that we're doing. That's why I said that. I said this earlier. There's this built-in assumption that somehow there's this hidden tranche of information of men that we know about that we're covering up or that we're choosing not to prosecute. That is not the case. I don't know whether there are men out there that abuse these women.
Dude, what an idiot, bro. Like, that is so smarmy. And then look at this, guys. There's a letter here including a bunch of FBI people that are all redacted. Why are the FBI agents redacted? Right? They have a bunch of people from SDNY and the FBI. Why are these guys redacted? They're not victims. They're not fucking, like, right? They're redacting FBI people now. They're saying, good morning, blank. Do you know what the guidelines are for redacting images or who would be able to assist with the guidance about CSAM victims, etc.? And then they have a thing down here that says, you know, they need clear and specific guidance to redact those photographs. Some photographs depict victims, unknown identified females and males, former U.S. presidents, secretaries of states, and other celebrities. And they're like, what do we do with the celebrities and the political people? They're all supposed to be out in the open. The only people that are supposed to be redacted are the victims, but they did the opposite. They exposed the victims, redacted the politicians. Dude, not all men. I'm losing confidence in this idea. Yikes. Oh, look at that. I'm surprised there's not squares over all their faces, right? Yikes. And now we know Lutnick is lying. Musk was lying. Yeah, crazy. Right? And then what's this? I don't know. They're talking about fucking, there's a picture and an age that was sent to Jeffrey Epstein from someone. Why is the person who sent this redacted? The fuck is this, bro? Right? Isn't that crazy? That shit is crazy, guys. There's no way, boss. All right. All right, guys. You ready? You guys, you ordered up a dance party. Okay? You ordered up a dance party. The Epstein administration, yes, the Epstein ballroom. It's Donald Epstein Trump. Donald E. Trump. Right? His name has been changed to Donald Epstein Trump. Don Jr. I mean, I made a list, guys. I did. I made a list. I know it's not exhaustive, but I made a list right here. Okay? That is, in addition to Bill and Hillary, right? Bannon, Thiel, Musk, Gates, Lutnick, Acosta, Zuckerberg, Barack, Prince Andrew, Branson, Tish, Summers, Brin, and then the 4 lieutenants, Sarah Kellen, Adriana Ross, Nadia Marcinkova, Leslie Groff. I forgot Bill Barr, okay? Then other people in the replies put in some other names. RFK Jr., I was like, yeah, he's definitely in there. There's him and his first wife. Alan Dershowitz, of course, Reid Hoffman, right? People said Trump. The pilots, all of the pilots, every single pilot for Donald Trump and for Jeffrey Epstein and for Ghislaine Maxwell, right? Every pilot, you know, Ghislaine Maxwell should be talking about her helicopter flights, okay? Dude, let's go, Ella. Appreciate you, boss. We got you. Michael Flynn and Roger Stone, that was a good one. Bondi, okay, Pam Bondi, Melania, yep. And then there's a New York gynecologist, which, yes, it could be the person that took care of Virginia Giuffre and other women. Okay, Les Wexner is certainly somebody in there that could do it, right? Les Wexner could be up there. We could bring Zuckerberg's wife. She was there. Sergey Brin. Was Brin in mine? I think Brin was in there, wasn't he? Yeah, he was. Okay, Sergey Brin. And then here they said Eric and Don Jr., Clarence Thomas, John Roberts. Okay. Mick Jagger. Yeah, you could bring in Mick Jagger. Although I will say this about Mick Jagger. The Mick Jagger and some of those other photos are a little bit complicated. And Bill Clinton was in on that too. Great chat again. Catch you later, bro. But guys, so the guys in Mick Jagger at that table where you see Mick Jagger and there's Epstein and Clinton, that one, I mean, you could certainly bring him in, but that event though was a wedding of a public official in fucking, right, in where was it? It was like a king. It was right? It was, where was it? Yeah, no, I know. Let him explain it. But the thing is some of these guys that are interesting is it was a... Dude, why is it not saying it? But we know where this was, dude. That's so weird that the AI's not saying it. It knows it was Morocco. Dude, it's being hidden. They know where this is. See, that's what's crazy, guys. This is what I'm talking about, though, okay? Right? It was the wedding of King Mohammed of Morocco, all right? That shows them in a group, and Bill Clinton or Mick Jagger is there, okay, at that table. But guys, see, this is what I'm talking about, okay? Because, and now I'm not saying, all right, bring in Mick Jagger and ask him about that. But my point is there's like, they released photos where a bunch of people got invited to the King of Morocco's wedding, and then they released those photos and are like, aha, fucking, you know, Bill Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein. But it was like, dude, they were invited to a fucking wedding, and they all were sat at a table because they were all Americans that were seated together at a King of Morocco's wedding, right? And so, but like, dude, did you see how when I searched that up, it wouldn't identify the location? Okay, it won't identify it as part of that like wedding trip and shit. It was public. Reporters were there. Those were not hidden photos. Those photos were publicly put out even when it happened. Now, again, you could bring Mick Jagger in and you could ask him, but my point being is they were taking very public events. Like, remember the photos of Michael Jackson and Diana Ross, and they covered up their kids and they made it look like they were having some secret meeting with Bill Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein, but Epstein wasn't even there. It was some random photo of Bill Clinton and Diana Ross and Michael Jackson, but it was released in the Epstein file with some redacted faces to imply some sort of weird guilt. And like, that's the shit they did too, okay? Is like, and so I don't know. I don't know if Mick Jagger had more interactions. I have not seen Mick Jagger in any emails. I think that Mick Jagger was just invited to the King of Morocco's wedding with a bunch of other people. They all happened to be sitting at a table because they were Americans, and those were very public fucking photos and shit, but then they released them to make it some big spectacle. Right, yeah, you know why? Right? And why is Google AI hiding it? I'll show you why Google AI is hiding it. Because of the guy at the bottom of my fucking list, bro. Right there. Because of, like, Sergey Brin. That's why. Right? That's why. Dude, have we seen Bezos? I don't think we've seen Bezos in these files yet, guys. Have we? I don't think we've seen Bezos. I think Bezos has been, like, not in there, which is pretty interesting, isn't it? Right? That Bezos isn't in there, right? You know what I mean? Dude, is Bezos? I haven't seen Bezos in. I saw Zuckerberg in there, but I have not seen Bezos yet. That doesn't mean he's not in, because again, there's 3 million files we're missing, guys. 3 million. They held 3 million. Okay? Why is he a bootlicking worm? I mean, because his profits are going to quadruple in 4 years by licking the boot. And then he's going to have enough power to, leverage. Dude, Bezos, he may be one of the redacted names. Oh, yeah, that's true. He could be redacted. Right? Canceling Amazon right now. I would love to cancel Amazon, but I can't. They're still one of my employers, technically. But all right, dude, I gotta go dance. I gotta go make videos. Love you guys. It's time for the dance party. Don't trust Google. I mean, dude, you can't really trust anything. So you have to just, pick from multiple sources, right? I try to use a lot of different sources when I'm researching. Right? But, you thought Twitch was over? I mean, Twitch is over for politics, but I'm still streaming there, gaming a little bit here and there. Right? Because they're the gaming fucking those young men need a little bit of my voice, right? They do. Sadly, there's no voices like mine in that fucking space, and I'm not going to stay in that space, but I'm going to go in a little bit and be a voice, you know, offer them something at least in gaming that's not a complete shithole. Because they need it. They need something. And I'm going to do that like once a week or once a month, whenever I have time. I haven't started it yet. But I did go, when I got banned on YouTube, I did go play Fortnite for a couple days, which was great, right? But yeah, all of these platforms are, but so just so you know though, Midnight, I mean, I don't, like the thing about Twitch and YouTube, Twitter, Meta, Insta, all that. I mean, free speech, if you want to get technical, free speech is about the government, okay? There's nothing in the Constitution that says companies can't hold you responsible for your speech, or that you can, if you go in and speak badly in a restaurant, they can boot your ass out. Free speech, the concept of free speech is the government. You can say whatever you want and the government cannot arrest you for it. That's the free speech in our Constitution, okay? Is the government, right? I can criticize the government and the government can't come and arrest me for it. But like social media platforms do not have to let you say what you want to say. They are allowed to censor you like any other business is. We may not like it, right? But they are. My only complaint though, okay? My only complaint about social media is that they're not clear, okay? I understand you have to censor, otherwise it would be filled with the most toxic shit out there. But my problem with social media is that they're not consistent and they're not clear. Like when I get banned for some community guidelines, they don't tell me exactly why I got banned. They don't say this word in your statement, or here's what you implied, and this is why you've broken the community guidelines. They list some guideline, and then I look at the guideline and I look at the content and I say nothing broke that guideline. And they say, yes, it did. I appeal and they say, you're wrong. And then I get banned. But they don't tell me. I mean, Twitch kind of does, and YouTube does a little bit, but TikTok does not at all, okay? I've never really run across it on Instagram and shit, okay? But you know what I'm saying? Dude, Upscrolled. Yeah, I mean, Upscrolled, I wasn't impressed with Upscrolled. I have an Upscroll profile, but for the most part, it was just, you know, nobody was using it. And it, you know, it looked like, I don't know, didn't have any vibes. You know what I mean? I got censored. Yeah, well, I know I hit a nerve. I argued with the big 𝗏𝗡𝗃 TikTok account and I told them off. And so they got me fucking shut down. But all right, you ready? Let's go, baby. Oh, dude, thank you guys for all the support. Again, what a crazy day. Dude, 12 hours of no Twitter. It was cool. I survived. I was okay, right? I made it through. I don't know how I made it through without Twitter for 12 hours, but I did survive. Let's go. Now I'm back. Now we're about to deja vu a little bit. Oh, let's go. Go, 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 go. All right, here we go, here we go, here we go. Dude, get limber, baby. Ooh. Oh, dude, it feels good to stretch. Now, one other thing though is I did get in Elon Musk's replies and say that he was in the Epstein files, and a whole bunch of people, or said that he went to the island and a whole bunch of people, right? A whole bunch of people fucking were like tagging him. So he may have just chosen something. Somebody reported me and he may have banned me because he saw me saying he went to Epstein Island, right? You never know, dude. I mean, we don't know. All I know, though, is it was only a 12-hour timeout, which was pretty good, right? Like 12 hours is not bad, right? Some people get booted for like a week. So, you know, let's go. You ready? You ready, baby? Ready? Ready for a little deja vu? Let's get into it, boys. Let's get into it, girls. Let's get into it. Everybody!
Got a lot of choices. I got a lot of ways that I can go. I hear a lot of voices. They have a lot to say, but I've known. Been here before. Yeah, I do recognize the tide of this marble floor, and I don't need my eyes to see what lies behind that wooden door. A little deja vu, I'm gonna get it right. A little time with you and I can see it like things will turn out okay. Everything lately, I'm feeling so familiar. Coming on greatly, this feeling like a million. I've been here before, yeah, I do recognize the talent of this marble floor, and I don't need my eyes to see what lies behind that wooden door. A little deja vu, I'm gonna get it right. A little time with you and I can see it like. A little deja vu, I'm gonna get it right. A little time with you and I can see it like things will turn out okay.
Let's go!
Coming up slowly, this feeling that I have now, almost a bit holy, a notion that I will make it out somehow. A little deja vu, I'm gonna get it right. A little time with you and I can see it like. A little deja vu, I'm gonna get it right. A little time with you and I can see it like things will turn out alright this time, I know.
Let's go! Oh! It's over. Oh, do you need anything? I need you. Oh, you know I do. All right, guys. I will see you tomorrow. I'm gonna go fucking make some videos and shit. Do the things I do. You guys have a good evening. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care of yourselves. All right? Take care of that head. We got a long way to go. Dude, yeah, that was a workout. Wet my face with reality and convince me to breathe before I do it again. Do you need anything like I need you? It's over. Oh, do you need anything like I need you? Do you need anything like I need you? It's over.
wanna change the world. I just want the perfect girl. I don't wanna hang around, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. Change the world, but I'm not gonna wait my turn. I don't ever want to come down, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. It's about you. I would never be